T&D Sports, an exclusive video broadcast.
Welcome live to Nassau County, New York, where we are here to broadcast the National Public Safety Football League big game of the year. It's the Fun City Bowl, FDNY Bravest versus the NYPD Finest, their 52nd meeting overall. And there's a lot on the line today. Championship run potentially for one of these teams. I'm your host, Mike Blute, along with John Heffernan. He'll be on our color commentator for the day. And this is live on Fox Nation, live on the NPSFL network. And John, obviously, we did this game the last couple of years, and we are here to witness who is going to advance in this game in order to make the championship game.
Well, it's been a game dominated by the New York City Police Department as far as the overall record is concerned, and they are the defending champs, the cream of the crop in the National Public Safety Football League. Clearly, Mike, today, the New York City Police Department is the team to beat. Undefeated at 4-0, they are deep. They are young, and they are hungry. And the fire department of New York City, they certainly have their work cut out for them today. It's been an up-and-down season for the Bravest in 2025.
Yeah, so the FDNY Bravest are trying to get back to their winning ways versus NYPD. They had won 4 in a row before NYPD took them out last year, a score of 28-10. The last 2 years in this game, the winner of this game went on to advance to the championship game and ultimately win the championship. So there's a lot of pride on the line, but clearly it's not just about the winner of this game and the pride that comes with it, but playing for a championship. And we'll see some really talented players out here today. We've had an opportunity to see both teams live already this season. NYPD, John, I think up front, before we'll get into spotlight players and the specific game notes and the keys to the game a little bit later. But I would just say generally, as you said, FDNY has its work cut out for it. NYPD is a really deep team, a pretty big roster, and they're very good up front.
Yeah, just to piggyback a little bit on what you were just talking about, Mike, Clive Harding, the head coach for the New York City Police Department, also the high school coach at Boys and Girls High School in Brooklyn. As we watch the fire department take the field, Mike, Harding said to me before the game, I don't care about the national championship. It's all about the game today. This is the date that's been circled since last year for both of these teams. And, of course, the national championship, a feather in the cap or in the helmet, in this case here today, is certainly going to be an overall goal. But today it's all about the Fun City Bowl.
Certainly one thing we stress during all of these broadcasts is the sacrifice that these players give, John. They are playing this for the love of the game. They are obviously our first responders, and they sacrifice a lot every day for their communities and for us. But today, they're going to sacrifice themselves a little bit on the field. So it's an amazing league to watch. These first responders do whatever they can in their spare time to be a part of this team, to be a part of this brotherhood, and you'll see them lay it out on the line today. We'll have some pregame festivities for you honoring some of our fallen from the last calendar year.
Yeah, and if you could probably hear in the background, that's the public address announcer for the New York City Police Department, Sadiq Faruqi, who's got his a very full agenda here in the pregame as we have an extended coverage here today on Fox Nation from Uniondale, New York. And Sadiq will be the home announcer, as this is, Mike, a home game for the police department and the defending champs. And here they come, Mike, onto the field. Old Glory, the defending champs on the cusp of the field. And there they are, the defending champs led by number 2, their number 1 running back, William Woodley, as the police department takes the field and the cannon goes off. The cannon provided, Mike, by the Warriors from Delaware Valley High School in Lebanon, Pennsylvania, all the way up from PA, and you see it in the right side of the 5-yard line. And there it is right there, Mike. That looks like
a couple people by surprise.
I said to George Burke, the president of NYPD, George, there better not be any casualties. Yeah. The game's tough enough as it is.
Agreed. Agreed. So as John said, lots of pregame festivities honoring the fallen from the past year. Over 40 members of FDNY have lost their lives in the line of duty over the course of the last year. A few people in particular are going to be recognized today. FDNY firefighter Anthony Mastrelli, NYPD Chief Gerald Nelson, NYPD Sergeant Paul Hargrove, and NYPD Officer John Kilpatrick, all their families all being honored today, along with honoring these teams and these departments from all across the country. Obviously, these are the two teams today that will be competing in front of us here on Long Island, but across the country, games like this are taking place. That Chicago PD Enforcers team is the team that is likely to meet the winner of this game in the national championship.
Yeah, they are definitely the team that one of these teams will be facing on June 21st, Mike. If it is in fact the police department that moves on with a victory here tonight at Mitchell Field, they will be playing Chicago at home. The Enforcers, really another team that's the cream of the crop of the National Public Safety Football League. If the fire department wins, they will fly out to Chicago to play for the national championship due to strength of schedule and overall record, with the Enforcers being undefeated.
And their only loss of the season, FDNY, was to that Chicago team. So it'll be a little bit of a revenge game, not a little bit of one, a huge revenge game with a title on the line. We've got a lot of players to discuss and spotlights, and why don't we head to that now? We'll talk about a few players while we can. As you see the teams lining up on the field here, honoring certain players. Christian Millara, one of the player spotlights, a veteran of the team, 12th season with FDNY. He played at John Adams High School here in New York City.
Yeah, Christian Millara, one of the veterans of this team. Mike, as you mentioned, he is one of the cogs to this secondary for the fire department of New York. He'll get the start here today. Millara, number 2, one of many strong defensive backs, including Timmy Dollison, John Moody, and others to keep an eye on.
Mike Selezitsky, you see him mostly on the offensive line. He can play some linebacker as well. His 16th season with the FDNY Bravest, and rumors that this may be his last game with the Bravest, right, John?
Mikey Babes, as they like to call him. This could be it for number 11. Never say never. He was one of the flag bearers running out onto the field earlier, Mike Blewett. And Selezitsky, Mikey Babes, as he's adoringly called by his teammates, will be getting the start on the offensive line today. He is willing to do whatever it takes, including a patchwork offensive line that we will see tonight. One of a vulnerable areas for the fire department tonight. And it's Sadiq Faruqi who is now introducing the captains and some of our pregame ceremonies, Mike. A lot to get through here in the pregame.
Yeah, we'll let Sadiq take care of it. We'll sit by live with our coverage right here from Long Island in Mitchell Field.
And we'll let Sadiq. I might cut him off here or there, Mike. I don't know. So we've got Steve Orr from the FDNY holding the plaque. And then Steve, the longtime president of the fire department of New York, Mike.
Representing the FDNY today, please welcome First Deputy Commissioner Mike Guerra.
Mike Guerra, of course, an alumni of the NYPD football team, and now the First Deputy Commissioner for the New York City Police Department. It makes me think about Bernie Carrick, who passed away a couple of days ago, Mike, the former commissioner of the NYPD.
Firefighter Bobby Eustace and firefighter Dennis Cavetta.
And we're getting ready for the coin toss as well, which will take place after this moment of remembrance. And out on the field for the fire department of New York, it's John Moody, the captain. This could be John Moody's last game as well, Mike. In addition to number 52, the center, John Seda, captain, 5'9", 260 pounds at a CW post. John Moody on the far right for the fire department, and here's the in memoriam, Mike.
And remember a beloved member of our fire department football family, Anthony Tony Mastrelli. We are honored to have his children, Alexis, Kyle, and Cameron, as well as his brothers, Scott and Kyle, and Alexis' mother, Claire, with us today. Born in Maspeth, Queens, and raised in Farmingdale, New York, Tony dedicated his life to service and shaping the lives of others. For nearly 32 years, he served with distinction as a firefighter with the FDNY, working in Ladder 56, then Engine 313, and ultimately Hazmat 1. Tony's impact reached far beyond the firehouse. For nearly 2 decades, he was a beloved member of the FDNY Bravest football team, both as a player and a coach. He was known to us as having the heart of a lion. For 21 years, he also poured his heart into mentoring young athletes as a dedicated coach of the Farmingdale Hawks youth football team, many of whom are here with us tonight, instilling values of teamwork, toughness, and heart. Tony's legacy lives on through them. His spirit on the field, his courage in the line of duty, and his unwavering commitment to his community made him the kind of man we all strive to be. The FDNY Bravest football team extends its heartfelt gratitude towards the Mastrelli family for attending today's game and will always be grateful for sharing him with us. We would like to present them with a commemorative flag and our official team jerseys as tokens of our appreciation.
And there, Mike.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a round of applause for Anthony Mastrelli, his family, and his legacy.
We got Eric Ortega for the FDNY, along with head coach Cam Peak, Mike, in his 4th season. He's the winner of 2 Fun City Bowls and a national championship as he greets the Mastrelli family in what should be, what's probably obviously a very moving moment for the Mastrelli family. And Mike, you know, so many guys from the fire department have died subsequently since 9/11 due to 9/11 related injuries. And unfortunately, Tony is another one that falls into that category. And it really goes to show the impact that day continues to have here in 2025 back on 9/11 of 2001.
Certainly every broadcast that we do, we are honoring another fallen member of FDNY, and many of them, as you said, fall into that same category.
Yeah, and you know, we go back to 2001, and Vinny Sheeta and Steve Orr. You see Steve Orr with the white hair there and the khaki pants to the right of your screen, the special teams coach and the team president. He was, and here we go, Anthony Mastrelli and the 3 NYPD guys, Gerald Nelson, Paul Hargrove, and John Kilpatrick. So our thoughts go out to all of the
families. Ladies and gentlemen, the NYPD finest football team would like to honor today Police Officer John Kilpatrick. Police Officer Kilpatrick was born on July 7, 1960.
Once again, if you're just joining us, it's pregame here at the Fun City Bowl, and Sadiq Faruqi, the public address announcer, now turning his attention to the police department.
And a family that meant everything to him. His children, Kevin, Caitlin, Tyler, and Derek. He was also a devoted stepfather to George Torres and a proud grandfather to Claire and Yanni. John is survived by his sisters Diane Marsala and Linda Roche. John's career in law enforcement was more than just a job. It was a calling. He worked in the 115th precinct, where he met his wife Denise and worked alongside her father, Freddie Roman. After a distinguished career, he retired from the 115th precinct in July 2004, leaving behind a legacy of dedication and integrity. John was known for his humor, his quick wit, and his ability to make those around him laugh. He was respectful, stand up, and always stood for what was right. To those of us who knew him, he was a hero, a man who touched our lives with his kindness and honesty. Today we remember John not only for his service and his strength, but for the love he shared with his family and friends. He will be missed dearly, but his spirit, his laughter, and his heroism will live on in all of us. Rest in peace, John Kilpatrick. Your legacy of courage, kindness, and humor will never be forgotten. The NYPD Finest Football Team wishes to express its sincere appreciation to the Kilpatrick family for their attendance at today's game. We kindly invite them to please step forward to receive a commemorative plaque on behalf of our team. The NYPD Finest Football Team would like to honor Sergeant Paul Hargrove. Sergeant Hargrove was a dedicated family man, a proud veteran, and a distinguished member of the NYPD. On March 8th, Paul entered into eternal rest after a courageous battle with 9/11 related illnesses. His life was one of service, sacrifice, and love. For over 35 years, Paul served with pride and distinction in the NYPD, reaching the rank of Sergeant Special Assignment and being a valued member of the Emergency Service Unit. His commitment to protecting others and serving his community exemplified the very best qualities of law enforcement. Paul also answered the call to serve his country in the U.S. Army during the Vietnam War, demonstrated his unwavering dedication to duty and country. Beyond his career, he was a devoted family man and a cherished member of his community. He loved spending time with his wife of 51 years, Marilyn, his children, Catherine, Paul, and Teresa, and his grandchildren, David, Caitlin, Andrew, Derek, Alex, Matthew, Anthony, and Sienna. His sister Patricia, along with many nieces and nephews, were also a special part of his life. A man of faith and community, Paul was a longtime member of the Holy Name Society, embodying kindness, integrity, and service in everything he did. Today, we remember Paul not only for his service and sacrifice, but for the love he shared with his family and the lives he touched throughout his life. He will be greatly missed, but his spirit and legacy will remain in the hearts of all who knew him. The NYPD Finest Football Team wishes to express its sincere appreciation to the Hargrove family for their attendance at today's game. We kindly invite you to step forward to receive a commemorative plaque on behalf of our team.
Once again, it's Paul Hargrove being honored by public address announcer Sadiq Faruqi, John Heffernan, alongside Mike Blewett here at Mitchell Field in our pregame for the 2025 Fun City Bowl. And Mike, I see Anthony O'Connell, the backup quarterback, on the field as well for the NYPD. So once again,
the NYPD Finest Football Team would like to honor Chief Gerald Nelson. Chief Nelson was a dedicated member of the NYPD whose service and leadership
Chief Gerald Nelson being honored with the NYPD.
Players that are out there, number 2, William Woodley, running back, number 10, Manny Tejada, we're starting linebacker.
Woodley will be certainly one of our players to
Over
watch.
4 decades, he rose through the ranks from
running back, he's the RB1
ultimately to
today.
assistant
He's a
chief,
slashing kind of
exemplifying
runner.
professionalism, integrity, and unwavering commitment to
Big shoulder
justice.
to lean on.
His leadership in
Right
key
now,
positions, including
as we
commanding
continue
officer
to
of Brooklyn
honor
North and the School
the
Safety
fallen from
Division,
the New York
helped
City
shape
Police Department.
effective policing strategies across the city. Gerald was instrumental during the full merger of the housing police with the NYPD, a transition he embraced with pride, always advocating for fair practices,
As you mentioned, Mike,
community
also
engagement, and reform. His dedication
number
to
10,
justice and his mentorship
Manny
of future
Tejada,
leaders
linebacker
left an indelible mark
for the
on the
NYPD.
department. A graduate of John Jay College of Criminal Justice and
Gerald
Marist
Nelson,
College, Gerald believed in
John Jay,
education as a
criminal
foundation
justice
for
graduate,
justice
being
and
honored
reform. His
at the
career
50-yard
reflected a
line here
tireless
today as
pursuit
part of our
of
pregame
positive
kickoff
change
scheduled,
within the
Mike,
criminal justice system
for
and
about
the
6:30.
NYPD. Chief Nelson's legacy
And this has got to be a
extends
moving
beyond his
moment
ranks.
for the family
He was a
of
role model, a mentor,
Nelsons.
and a staunch advocate for justice. Today, we
He's an
remember his
NYPD
service,
chief.
his leadership, and
Was
his
Gerald Nelson.
unwavering city safer and fairer for all.
Mike,
May his memory inspire us to continue.
this is such an important component to this game.
And community service.
You know, we do have a football game to play. These guys sacrifice their lives day in and day out, and have taken a lot of hits along the way, both publicly and the difficulty that each of these guys encounter every day in all the different specialty areas, whether it be Joint Terrorism Task Force, the Harbor Unit, climbers, mechanics, all on the job of the New York City Police Department. Detectives, lieutenants, undercover, and they do it day in and day out in the 5 boroughs of Manhattan. And we appreciate all of them, including Gerald Nelson, Paul Hargrove, and John Kilpatrick.
In honor of those who have made the ultimate sacrifice and given their lives in the line of duty.
Also
The fallen are not forgotten.
honored Anthony
We
Mistrelli
also pause in honor
prior
of
to the
those who
NYPD.
continue to serve. Your commitment inspires us all.
As you can see there on our screen, over the course of the last year, over 40 members of FDNY have fallen in the line of duty. Firefighters, EMS workers, mechanics, as John said, a lot of different jobs within both NYPD and FDNY that sacrificed their lives and are being honored here today.
Time
now for the anthem, Mike.
For the singing of our national anthem as we honor America and those who protect it. Performing the national anthem today is Police Officer Catherine Villar.
Catherine Villar out of the NYPD is stepping forward now. And we've got the ceremonial unit on the field as well from the FDNY, Mike, and the color guard.
Officer Villar, Catherine Villar with the national anthem there, and a flyover from the NYPD chopper, again live from Mitchell Field on Long Island. FDNY Bravest and NYPD Finest will take each other on in just about 10 minutes. We'll head to a break right now and come back with live coverage of the coin toss and kickoff.
Ever wonder who helps our everyday heroes when they need support? Enter fundthefirst.com, a unique crowdfunding platform dedicated to first responders, their families, and their friends. Unlike typical sites, we don't take a cut. Every dollar goes directly to those in need. Whether it's for emergency medical bills, family emergencies, or equipment, fundthefirst.com is there. It's our chance to give back to those who risk it all for us. From police officers to firefighters, these heroes deserve our support. Want to make a real impact? Check out fundthefirst.com and show our heroes that we've got their backs. It's time to support those who always support us.
And we are back live at Mitchell Field here on Long Island. Mike Blewett along with John Heffernan getting ready for kickoff of the Fun City Bowl. That song you hear in the background is the NYPD Emerald Society Pipes and Drums playing us onto the field, playing us into warm-ups, John, and obviously a familiar sound with anybody that watches our city parades, and they welcome in these teams today.
Well, Mike, it gets me every time, gets me every year. The Emerald Society, FDNY Pipes and Drums. It means one thing, Mike, game time, 2025 Fun City Bowl. If you're just joining us, I want to thank you so much for tuning in to Fox Nation. And, Mike, it all started back in 1973 with Pudgy Walsh from the Fire Department of New York and Joe Loughran from the NYPD as they came together to put together the first ever Fun City Bowl. And look how far it has grown. And I want to give a special shout out to 83-year-old Joe Loughran from the New York City Police Department, watching at home in New Jersey with his grandkids, 9-year-old Kathleen, who had a big basketball game today. Kathleen, I hope it went well. And, of course, 5-year-old Henry watching alongside his grandpop, Joe Loughran. Joe, we miss you. We wish you were here. And Joe had a big prediction, Mike. I think Joe said 23-13, 23-14. Either way, of course, he's picking his NYPD finest to win today. We shall see. They are the defending champs.
Yeah, so let's, since Joe's made a prediction, why don't we look at some keys to the game here with the NYPD. Well, here's the FDNY Bravest keys to victory first. They're going to have to limit some of those mistakes. When we saw them a few weeks ago in Brooklyn taking on the boldest team, they were shooting themselves in the foot when they got down in the red zone. They're going to have to limit those kinds of mistakes, John.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, Vinny Sheeta, the offensive coordinator for the fire department, told me, John, we have got to play mistake-free football if we want any chance at winning this one today. And that speaks volumes, obviously, when it comes from the likes of Vinny Sheeta.
So those third downs really important to have sustained drives and keep this NYPD offense and their offensive line, which is dominant, off the field. They're going to have to contain Quinlan and or O'Connell, who's ever in there under center throughout the game, and try to minimize the big plays that Quinlan in particular can make. Now on the NYPD side, their keys to victory, just play great defense. Obviously, FDNY or anybody that's watched the NPSFL before, or frankly, if you haven't seen it yet, you'll notice they have a very dominant running back in Trey Wilson. They're going to have to play great defense on that FDNY running attack.
Without a doubt, Clive Harding, the head coach for the New York City Police Department, talked to me about it prior to the game, Mike. He said, I will say it once, and I will only say it once. Defense is what will win the football game here today. And, Mike, when you think about this statistic, the New York City Police Department during league play in 2025 have not let up one single touchdown defensively. That speaks volumes. That's going to be a huge obstacle for the fire department to overcome as we take a look at the coin toss.
Extremely impressive, obviously. All right, so we got something here. Let's see what we have for the toss. FDNY is going to take the football, so that defense will get a chance to shine for NYPD finest to start off the game. Obviously, the players are pretty amped up, excited. These teams, look, there's no love lost here. These are our first responders. They are our community heroes. But when they're in between the lines for this game, there's no love lost.
Oh, no, I mean, Mike, that's putting it mildly. Like, I hate to sound dramatic, but, Mike, in talking to head coach Cam Peake in his 4th season with the fire department, he made no bones about it. He said, look, we hate each other. And I don't – he doesn't mean any disrespect when he says that. But this game is more important to these guys than any other game on the calendar, national championship included. We hate each other, but after the game, we hug each other. And speaking of which, Mike, this week of practice, and as we take a look at the FDNY spotlight, and I'll let you take over from here.
Yeah, just to get a couple of players in here. Tim Dollison, an eighth season with FDNY Bravest, very experienced player out of Temple. He says here, this team has become an extension of my family, something we hear over and over again. And one more player spotlight on the FDNY side, and an important one, Tommy Herrick in his 17th season with the FDNY Bravest. This is his last game of his career. He's going to hang it up after this.
He is done. Along with Selozitsky, we want to honor Tommy Herrick. What a tremendous human being. And we hope to see Tommy in there today, Mike, as the police department gets set to kick off. And, Mike, I got to point out, the conditions are really, really windy on the field.
Agreed.
And it's something that both Francis Conlon for the fire department of New York and the kicker for the NYPD that's out there right now. That's Mike Sheridan, number 11, I believe, if I have that right. Sheridan said, I got to kick low, especially in windy conditions. We can't get it too high to let the wind catch a hold of the football. We'll see how that plays out.
So you're struggling to get a good hold here. Actually,
it's
Zabransky. That's Thomas Zabransky will handle the kickoff duties here. And as you can see, the wind has already blown the ball off the tee. They may have somebody come out here and hold. We talked a little bit about special teams at the top of the rejoin here, John. And what I would say is that the reason that NYPD's got to be good on special teams is because the Bravest has the best kicker in the league in Francis Cole.
Absolutely. And Francis Cole told me before the game that 1/3 of the game we have got to win. He's referring to special teams. We have to win that 1/3 of the game today in order to win this football game.
Okay, so back to receive here. You got Evan Flowers, that's number 2. And Eric Ortega, I believe. Is that right? Number 4? It's hard to see.
It's number 3,
it's
as you mentioned, Rob Wheeler. Wheeler, who started at quarterback this season, will now be a wide receiver and kick returner.
And there's the kick. Zabransky kicks it short, and Flowers is going to take it. It did not get into the landing zone. We have a dynamic kickoff rule here in the NPSFL. So by not getting it to the landing area, it will start at the 40-yard line, I believe.
And, Mike, we talked about mistake-free football. I won't really count this as a, traditional penalty in the gameplay sense. But I just hope the officials let these guys play to a degree. We've seen a lot of haphazard play in 2025 with, in my opinion, just too much laundry on the field. And I know as officials, they do a great job, but I want this team to get some flow here to start in their first offensive series, and we'll see how it shapes up.
So a pretty good start, obviously, for them taking the ball at the 40-yard line. It'll be Tom Heedles. At center, under center, he's going to start in shotgun formation. Trey Wilson lined up behind him, and they're going to go right to Wilson. No, it's a play-action pass. He gets it out to Ortega, hits him at the 45. Ortega down the sideline to the 20, knocked out of bounds at the 16-yard line. A great play-action, and we have a flag late. That might be a shot to the head. I'd expect a personal foul to be tacked onto this, but what an explosive play to start it off.
Mike, exactly right. You talk about coming out and punching him in the mouth, going big time, looking for the big play, and the fire department gets it on the first play of the game. It's the veteran, Tommy Heedles, finding a wide-open Eric Ortega, and this guy runs the crispest routes of any receiver on this fire department team. And my goodness, the fire department starts off glowingly.
So 16-yard line, he's pushed out. They get half the distance on a hit to the head, and it's going to be first and goal from the 8-yard line. You have Heedles in shotgun formation with Wilson to his left. You have number 18, Babby, coming across the line of scrimmage in motion. And then nothing happening really on that play, dropped at the line of scrimmage, or maybe a loss of 1 on first down.
But, one of the things the fire department has got to do in the red zone, they have to finish. Kicked a bunch of field goals in last year's Fun City Bowl. Mike, if you look at last year, the fire department had 76 offensive plays, double the time of the possession of the New York City Police Department, and yet still lost the game. So it's this area in particular that the fire department's got to do a better job, and they are certainly knocking on the door.
They're going to call a timeout here at second and goal from the 8-yard line. We'll hit a quick break and come back right after this timeout.
frequently either stop looking for signs of hope and praying for a swift end to our agonizing pain. As one who has walked down this road, I can honestly say that nothing I have ever done has given me more hope, more relief, or renew my courage like my relationship to
Okay, here we are. It is Heedles in shotgun formation. He's got Flowers out to his right, Wilson right next to him in the backfield, and it's going to be a quick out pass to Ortega again, who's dropped after a gain of maybe 1 on the play. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 7-yard line. To take a quick look here at the FDNY starting lineup, we've already mentioned a few of those players with Heedles under center, Trey Wilson, the starting running back, Evan Flowers, Eric Ortega, Gerard Waterman, Marco Babby, the key wide receivers, although you see some other guys rotate in. We've already talked about Mike Selazitsky. What do you call him, Mikey Babes?
Mikey Babes.
So this is last game with the Bravest, and he anchors the offensive line.
And another guy to point out, Mike, at right tackle, Richie Richards, a converted linebacker. He has stood out at the linebacker position for years on this fire department team. Another guy stepping it up, doing whatever it takes. A newly revamped O-line for the FDNY.
All right, so here is Heedles, a key 3rd down early, and Wilson goes out to his right, and they're going to get a screen pass. Wilson going to try to make it work, and he is dropped after a gain, but he's all the way down to the 2-yard line. 4th and goal from the 2. Do they decide to be aggressive or take the points early, John?
Well, that was Earl Lucas with the tackle for the fire department. Mike, this is the first big decision of the ball game for the fire department coaching staff. Do you take the points? And it looks like they're going to do just that with number 15. You know, playing it safe, Mike, they weren't playing it safe on that first play action of their first series here, but
based on the way that this game went last year and based on the way that NYPD has played so far, I appreciate the fact that they're taking the 3 points here. I never mind a team being aggressive, but when you have such a lockdown kicker like this, you just take the 3 points.
Don't be surprised, though, if Cole runs with it. He has been known to do that. We'll see.
And we got an offsides right there. It'll only be half the distance there.
I only mentioned that
dead. Encroachment on the NYPD.
So that's going to back it up even more, Mike. So now we'll definitely see Cole swing away here to get the 3.
I think that was on the finest there, John. So we're going to move it half the distance, and we have a unit change. So Cole, the kicker, comes off. That penalty moves it now down to the 1-yard line, John. So they're going to go with a heavy set here. Jumbo is what they call this package, and you'll see a lot of the big guys out here try to make something happen here. 4th and goal from the 1.
Another notable out of the field with this change, number 2, Eric Flowers, the dynamic playmaker at wide receiver, is lined up far to the right.
You got a bunch set to the left. Trey Wilson standing right next to Heedles, and they're going to throw it, and it's incomplete. Short-armed it. Was that deflected? I think
it was indeed deflected. It was number 36, Jaquai Wilson, I believe, who got a piece of it.
Big play by Wilson. Here's the replay, John.
You see Wilson keying in on Heedles there. Great read by Wilson.
I don't even know if he got a piece of that.
I don't think it was Wilson.
He had the defender. It looks like that might have been Daniel Effinger. Came through and put pressure on Heedles, and he just kind of short-armed it, and he does not get it out to Ortega. That ball falls incomplete, and NYPD Finest takes over at their own 1-yard line. We'll show you the NYPD starting lineup here, as you're going to see Davon Quinlan under center for the NYPD. William Woodley in the backfield, along with Quinlan, Kyle Johnson, Chris McGrain, Kieran Fitzgerald, and Mike Miller. The wideouts, Aristide is one of the key anchors on the offensive line, and Woodley on 1st down busted out to the 5. And honestly, he had daylight in front of him, so a big tackle there by number 7, Khalifa Forbes. We'll show you the FDNY starting defensive unit here. Khalifa Forbes on the tackle right there. Obviously, that Bravest defense led by guys like Tim Dollison, John Moody, veteran defensive backs there. Their linebacking core really legit. Frank Zerbo, the number 44, a veteran of this Bravest team, but the playmakers we've seen this year, Justin Hassan and Jason Carteron, making big plays all season long.
Number 55, Justin Hassan, in his second year. I'm telling you, you want to watch a guy play the linebacker position. Key on number 55 in white today. This guy is entertaining. He's tough. He's fast. He hits hard. In addition to Mike Hart for the fire department as well, on the opposite side of Hassan, on the right side at linebacker, a young linebacking core, which has allowed Selazitsky to move to the O-line as well. Those are two guys that are a lot of fun to watch.
Number 95, Denzel Wilson, a big man in the middle, one of the more dominant defensive linemen in the National Public Safety Football League. He's number 95, stands at 6'4", 300 pounds. So here we go.
He's got that technique down to a science. Denzel Wilson, the nose guard.
Second down and 6. Obenheim in motion. They hand to Woodley again. He's off the right side and just past the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of 1. That'll bring it to 3rd and 5 quickly, John.
And Wilson involved, as he will be all day. Big number 95. This guy is a load. He talks about technique, the rip, the curl. His whole thing is he mixes it up with the center for the New York City Police Department, and that is a tall task to go against big number 95, Denzel Wilson, 6'4", 300-pounder out of Cardozo High School. And Mike, one other note, the offensive lineman Aristide is out, will not play today for the New York City Police Department.
Okay, that's a late note. Good note on that one, John. We just mentioned his name.
So at right guard, it will be John Smith playing in place of Aristide.
Felder gets the handoff, and I believe he makes it past the first down marker for a first down. And it is. That'll be first down. Justin Felder, I called an NYPD game a few weeks ago against the Tri-State Shields team, and Felder was a superstar that night. Had 2 touchdowns, one on a a punt return, and the other on an explosive catch and run. So he's somebody that will highlight throughout the night, even though he wasn't technically in the starting lineup. He's somebody that gets used very effectively, and you could utilize his quickness right there for the first down.
Well, the leading rusher at New Haven in Connecticut, Justin Felder, playing Division II football in college. Also legally blind at one point throughout his career, endured 7 operations to get his sight back. You talk about an inspiration. Felder is certainly that.
Felder takes that handoff. He cuts it back inside, breaks a tackle, and he's across the 20-yard line to the 21. He's dropped after a gain of 8 yards. It'll be 2nd and 2.
You know, Mike, just to piggyback a little bit on that Felder story, he's more of a outside runner to the complement to the RB1. Woodley, more of an inside kind of guy. But Felder, really a remarkable story. Talk about setting an example for your teammates. This guy, 7 eye surgeries, was diagnosed as legally blind, leading rusher at New Haven, and now a clean bill of health, and it's remarkable the recovery this guy's made.
Incredible story. So the 2 running backs we just discussed are both going to be with Quinlan in the backfield here, and they hand it off to Felder again. He's off the left side, spin move across the 29-yard line for another NYPD finest first down. So halfway through the first quarter, we are still scoreless, but we have NYPD putting together a drive, 30 yards almost on the drive already, John.
And there's the veteran. Look at the job by Frank Zervo, warding off the tackle from number 2. That was Woodley, but Zerbo, the veteran linebacker, making an impact here in the first quarter at Mitchell Field. Love watching number 44 get it done for the FDNY.
So they're comfortable running the ball thus far, and now Quinlan hands off to Felder again. He's off the right side. He breaks through the FDNY defense and gets across the 40-yard line up to the 41. Another NYPD first down. Thunder and lightning situation here, and Felder showing his explosiveness again, John.
And look at that. Look at the patience of Felder, and he's got a huge hole, Mike, an absolute
So
massive hole as he's finally brought down by number 22, John Moore.
So we're going to be talking about the running backs a lot tonight, but a big part of all of this is how good this NYPD offensive line is. They have dominated other teams so far this season. They're undefeated on the season. They beat Roanoke 36-6. There's another handoff, this one to Woodley, counter play there, and he gets about 4 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd and 6. So NYPD 3-0. They beat Roanoke 36-6. They beat Tri-State 35-0, the game that I called, and then they beat Dallas 34-0. So as you said, they have yet to allow a touchdown, and they've put up 30 in all 3 contests thus far.
Yeah, and you can just see how methodical they are with that offensive line, despite the loss of Aristide in this one. John Smith getting thrown into the fire, but they are establishing a really good push here in this series as it's now a 2nd and 10.
FDNY 2-1 on the season. They beat Tri-State 19-12, Corrections 26-20. That's the boldest team. And then they lost to the Chicago PD 19-3. And we're back to the ground game. They are utilizing yet a 3rd running back here in Jerry Brown, are the NYPD in their navy blue and gold uniforms, reminiscent of Navy, Notre Dame, that kind of color scheme. And the blue and gold here for NYPD, certainly addressing their run game early and often.
And certainly reminds me of Army, as you mentioned, and this rivalry really up in the same category as Army-Navy, Michigan-Ohio State. Good crowd here tonight at Mitchell Field, as we always get for this one. The Fun City Bowl, the 52nd iteration here at Mitchell Field. Big play here, Mike.
No doubt about it. 3rd and 6 from their own 49-yard line. Quinlan goes with the keeper. No, he hands off to Obenheim. That was a little trickeration there, John. We had a fake handoff, and then Quinlan hands it to the tight end, Obenheim, and he picks up the 1st down. So they do a little power run, or kind of a Statue of Liberty play, it looked like.
I almost thought it was a busted play. It was that quick, but a great handoff from Felder to Sean Obenheim, and he puts the shoulder down and gets a couple of extra yards on that push. And a terrific job. You know, we've seen some trick plays over the years in this one, and PD utilizing one of their own right there for a big 1st down.
Obenheim with a touchdown catch against the Tri-State team a few weeks ago, courtesy of Quinlan. So they have a connection there. Is Obenheim in motion again, and they're going to hand it to Felder off the right side, off right guard, and he gets about 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 7.
I think that was Woodley on the carry.
Sorry.
But
right.
a good 1-2 punch continues to just right up the gut, Mike. Right up the gut. You talk about the war of the trenches, and right now it's being won by this offensive line for the New York City Police Department. You know, Mike, I had an opportunity to talk to George Burke, the longtime president of the NYPD. 5 years as the president, I should say longtime member of the FDNY. 28 years on the job, 28 years on the team, and 18 years as the starting nose guard. And he says this team this year is one of the best he's been around. Young, hungry, and they want it.
Yeah, dominant, over 30 points in all of their contests so far. So Woodley comes out, Felder comes in, looking to the sidelines for a play. And it's going to be Quinlan in shotgun with Felder to his left, 2 out to his right, 1 out to his left, and it's going to be another handoff. Felder off tackle and tripped up right at the line of scrimmage. Big play there by the FDNY. That was number 50.
Jason Carteron.
Yeah, was that Carteron?
I think
believe
so.
Okay, so there,
Carteron,
here it is again.
6'1", 210-pounder, firefighter. And boom, look at the penetration there. Good shoestring tackle.
Big play by Carteron. So lots of running plays leading to a fairly rapid first quarter. Under 3 minutes to go in the first. We are scoreless. This will be 3rd and 7 for NYPD. Yet to throw a pass, but here's Quinlan back to pass, and he fires at the 1st down marker, and it is complete for a 1st down. That is number 12 on the catch for NYPD, and that is Chris McGrain. Not that active in the game that I called earlier this season, but here he has the first catch of the game.
Yeah, the kid out of CW Post, kind of like a Julian Edelman type player. He is super fast, super talented, and very smart on that play as he came back to the football to make the catch and a big first down for the police department. McGrain also returns kicks, Mike, and he is a multi-dimensional player in the same mold as an Eric Flowers for the fire department.
All right, at the 26-yard line, it's first down. And Felder breaks a tackle, sneezed in the middle of a play call. That rarely happens. But Felder picking up yet another first down. That was Felder on the carry.
Look at the moves here by Felder. As he gets the toss from Quinlan. Little jip, whoop, left, right, whoop.
So shifty. He obviously has the ability to use that lateral quickness and his spin moves to their advantage. And now we are in the process, John, of seeing an 80-plus yard drive by NYPD, and they're throwing only one pass. They're going to pitch it out to Felder again. He cuts back across the grain and is dropped after a gain of 1. It'll be 2nd and 9 from the 15-yard line. So they are in the process of an 84-yard drive.
Big Denzel Wilson in on the tackle for the fire department. They're going to have to do a lot more than rely on Denzel Wilson. As you mentioned, Mike, this has been one long, impressive drive, and it's also eaten up a lot of time on the clock.
Yeah, we're down 45 seconds in the first quarter. You know, FundTheFirst.com is the #1 trusted and free fundraising platform for those who serve their families and their friends. Fund the First is in the business of supporting first responders, military, and medical professionals. Visit fundthefirst.com today to launch your fundraiser. Here's Quinlan back to pass. It's a screen to Felder. Felder makes a move, goes up the sidelines for a few. No, he stepped out right at the line of scrimmage. I thought he might have squeaked out a couple of yards on the play, but it'll now be 3rd and long, John. So this is a key play here, 3rd and 9 from the 15.
Yeah, I'm just amazed at how many looks Felder has gotten here in the first quarter. A little bobble there, and he runs out of real estate.
That's going to be it for the first quarter as NYPD took a ton of time off the clock. 3rd and 9, big play when they come back right after this.
Our mission is providing that support, advocacy, and awareness for organ donation. Be a forever hero, donate life is the message we want to get out there.
As an FDNY firefighter, he was a hero in life. As an organ donor, Billy Moon, also a hero in death.
FDNY firefighter Billy Moon's heart was successfully transplanted into 63-year-old Richard Grell last December.
And as his widow, Christina, processed her heartbreak and her grief, she fulfilled a promise that was made to her husband and donated his organs so others could live. 5 lives were saved in the process.
There are around 103,000 people waiting for a transplant across the country. One person can save 8 lives and improve up to 75 more.
Rapid first quarter there at Mitchell Field. We're in the Fun City Bowl. FDNY Bravest taking on the NYPD Finest. We are scoreless heading into the second quarter with a key 3rd and 9 coming up for the Finest. Couple of players to spotlight on their team. Jamie Martinez, offensive lineman, his 3rd season with the NYPD Finest, and he played for Sacred Heart University, John.
Yeah, you know, talking about his love for Pudgy Walsh, who was one of the founders of the NYPD, FDNY game, and he credits the stories and the history of why he tried out for this team. But more importantly, Mike, he is a key cog to that offensive line for the police department.
Yeah, okay, so back to live action here. You're going to have Quinlan in shotgun formation. It's Woodley out there, not Felder, on 3rd and 9, and you've got 4 wide receivers out, 3 to his right, 1 to his left. McGrain out there along with Kyle Johnson, and here's Quinlan. He rolls out to his left. He's going to keep it, and he's forced out of bounds. I don't know what's up with that play call, John, but didn't go anywhere, and it'll be 4th and 8. It's a kicking situation, it looks like.
They loaded up all the stud receivers on the right. Quinlan goes the other way. Nobody bit for the fire department. So the quarterback keeper doesn't turn into a whole lot, as it's number 23, Zane Denoon, the 6', 205-pound EMS worker who's in his second year with the fire department. Did get a whole lot of playing time in this game last year. That's going to change here in 2025.
All right, so they're being aggressive. I don't see a kicker out here. I see Quinlan in there along with Felder. And on 4th and 8, it's a key play, obviously early in this game. FDNY passed on their opportunity to kick a field goal, got stopped. NYPD now doing the same with just in the first minute of the second quarter. We are scoreless, and NYPD going with an aggressive play here from just inside the 15-yard line. Quinlan back to pass. He throws. He's got Obenheim open across the 10, and he reaches across the 7-yard line for a first down. NYPD, a huge play there for the cops.
Absolutely. Sean Obenheim once again involved for the police department. You talk about a gutsy play, Mike. I mean, going forward on 4th down, Obenheim wide open.
Great grab
in the
there.
sun, too, making a tough catch as Anthony Phipps, along with Justin Hassan, push him out of bounds. But more importantly, Mike, it's 1st and goal for the police department.
Big play there. Obenheim, a key receiver for Quinlan. They have a good connection. Like I said, they connected for a touchdown in the Tri-State victory, the 35-0 victory, and now this is where they can lean on. They got a heavy set backfield here. Quinlan going under center, and you've got Woodley and Felder and number 34, Joe Boccia, in the backfield there. So the power look, and Boccia leads the way for Felder, who is fighting for additional yardage, and he is going to get down to the 2-yard line. So just kind of pushing the pile forward there, John, and it'll be 2nd and goal from the 2.
Credit the anticipation here from the fire department. They saw a run all the way. Hassan then hands it off to number 50, Carteron. In addition to
Khalifa Forbes, the first one there on the play.
Khalifa Forbes.
And we're going to call a timeout here, so we'll hit a quick break in the action and come back with a key 2nd and goal.
My mom was the most amazing person in my life.
I would definitely consider my mom as a hero.
I love and miss my mom very much.
The worst day of my life was the day that my mother was murdered on July 5th, 2017. That same night in the hospital, when my brother and sister asked me who was going to take care of them after I had to break the horribly tragic news that our mother had been murdered, I said, I will take care of you.
There are over 1,000 families that need our help. Tunnel to Towers is honoring those heroes that risked their lives by providing them with mortgage-free homes.
First responders are human too. They have fears and families that they need to come home to. For just $11 a month, you can give back to these heroes who gave up so much for you and ensure that their families will always have a home.
Please donate $11 a month by visiting tunneltotowers.org or calling 1-844-BRAVEST. Thank you.
So another player spotlight here. Kendall Clark, number 3, the linebacker from NYPD, played at Morrisville State College. Just his 2nd season with the Finest, and it's something that John has mentioned a number of times during the broadcast. Very young team. They've infused with new talent, and Kendall Clark, another one of those players. And here we are, 2nd and goal from just outside the 2-yard line. Going with the same setup, Quinlan under center, Felder right behind, Woodley right behind him, Felder to his left, Boccia to his right, and they got Felder who takes it outside and walks it in for the touchdown. They gave him the power look, and they held off that FDNY defensive line for the touchdown.
Yeah, you know, Khalifa Forbes was the recipient of a big block. If we watch it here again, Quinlan not in the shotgun, goes to his 3rd option there, and Felder takes his time, and you see that key block on number 22, John Moody. And that opened things up for the walk in the park, and 6 points for
Very
Felder.
methodical drive. That drive took north of 10 minutes for NYPD from beginning to end. Zabransky back to kick the extra point. They fumble the snap. Number 32, the holder, that's Mustafa Young. He's not able to handle the snap. Zabransky picks it up, and he is dropped right where he picked it up. So no extra point. It'll be 6-0 NYPD. What happened here on the replay?
And this could come back to haunt them, Mike. Every point obviously going to matter in this one. A defensive battle so far. PD sets up for the extra point. It's a low snap that kind of skims off the ground, and Khalifa Forbes comes in to put an end to it for the fire department.
Big play by Forbes there. He's been a big playmaker this year. So, all right, we're going to head right to the kickoff here. Zabransky right back out there. Before we hit that, the Billy Moon Foundation organ donation can have a profound impact on not just a recipient but donors and communities as well. We strive to be that lifeline of support for those in need. Visit BillyMoonFoundation.org for more information on how you can register to become an organ donor today. Okay, so you mentioned the wind, John. I wonder if that played a factor with
it's hard to say with an extra point. But either way, Mike, we've got our first points to the ball game. 6-0. NYPD strikes first. Let's see how FDNY responds. They got a couple of guys set up to receive this one. And it will be number 91 once again. The kicker, Zabransky, in place of Sheridan. So it's good to see Zabransky in there.
Thanks for all of you watching on Fox Nation today. Excited to be live with you here. And Zabransky with the kickoff. That is going to be picked up by Rob Wheeler, number 3. He's across the 20-yard line, across the 25. He breaks to the outside, to the 40. He cuts back, and he's hit at the 45 and dropped just near the 50-yard line. Big run back for Wheeler.
Oh,
and
my
an explosive
gosh.
play that they need.
You know, Mike, some kids could have sulked and held their heads after what would some call a demotion. Rob Wheeler, the quarterback of this fire department team until just a few weeks ago, now running back kicks. One of the best athletes on this fire department team. You see the patience. Mike, if you ever meet this kid in person, he looks like he's about 14 years old. He's got a baby face. You talk about toughness, though, and you talk about support, accountability, and no complaining. Wheeler responds beautifully with the kickoff, but it's going to come back, Mike.
Oh, big penalty there. I didn't see exactly where the penalty happened, but it looks like we got a hold, and it comes all the way back to the 25-yard line. So the ever-resilient Rob Wheeler's big return gets pushed back about 25 yards or so from where it would have started. So they're going to have to start it all out again. And who do we have under center but Tom Heedles, number 10, and coming in motion.
It's Calabrese now.
Oh, Calabrese comes in. Sorry about that. We had a QB switch already. You see that a lot in this league, John. Teams rotating different quarterbacks. Obviously, NYPD has shown you that they are using different running backs today. So Peter Calabrese, the youngster, stands at 5'10", 185. They hand it off there on first down, and nothing going. Dropped at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, the Tottenville alum. And, you know, Mike, he wasn't eligible to play in the last game for the fire department. And he's a young guy, 26 years old, but a great athlete. And I got to tell you, Mike, I'm surprised, but maybe not surprised to see Calabrese in the game. But now it's Heedles who's back in.
They're doing a rotation here where Heedles now comes in on second down. Trey Wilson off the field. They got 3 wide with a single setback, and Heedles is looking to pass, and he does have Ortega across the middle to the 30. He gets up to the 34-yard line, dropped after a big first down for the Bravest.
You know, once again, Ortega runs a beautiful route. I mean, essentially, Heedles is throwing that into the only spot you could possibly put it, as Ortega had guys all in the neighborhood. But he creates some separation, and he's got such good awareness on the field and pulled it all the way to the near sideline.
Just like we talked about that connection, and we have a penalty here. Is that too many men in the huddle? I think we have, a late or an illegal substitution, it looks like, on the Bravest. So we'll push that back 5 yards after the first down. Now they're going to start it out 1st and 15. They're going to have to get rid of the procedural penalties in order to make sure that they can keep the ball moving down the field. So they'll now move back to their 29-yard line on first down. We talked about the connection between Quinlan and Obenheim. We have to say, in watching this FDNY Bravest team over the past few seasons, clearly the quarterbacks love Eric Ortega.
Without a doubt. I mean, not a huge guy, but a veteran guy, as we've mentioned, and just so smart out there, one of the captains of this fire department team.
St. Peter's High School prospect in his early days. Product, I should say, but he out of Staten Island. We called a game there earlier this year, so it was a homecoming for Ortega in a game in which he had a really nice output. So, all right, Heedle's back here on the field. They're rotating in different backs, different receivers, different quarterbacks thus far. Our Bravest trying to find a successful formula, and it'll be 2nd and 9 from their own 35-yard line.
Keep an eye, too, on number 70 of the defensive line for the police department. Matthew Weiss, Mike, he is an absolute load. He will clog the middle of the field. He's a great pass rusher as well. A very, very complete player for the police department.
All right, here's the handoff. That is to number 28 for the FDNY. That is there, Trevor Elam. Sorry, I misplaced the number on my sheet here, but that is Elam with the carry. He gives them a little bit of extra room there. Good for 5, John, and it's a 3rd and 4.
Well, kind of more like a fullback as far as his style of running. Trevor Elam, a converted linebacker, Mike, now a running back for the fire department. A good compliment to Trey Wilson, a bit more of a north-south guy, as we saw right there.
Okay. Big 3rd down here for FDNY. We are just under 9 minutes left in the half. Heedle standing with his feet on his own 35 with Wilson behind him. And they get the handoff to Wilson, who's off the right tackle, but met at the line of scrimmage and dropped after maybe a gain of 1. And it's 4th down situation. Francis Cole will come out to punt for the Bravest.
I got to, once again, tip your hat to the NYPD's defense. We talked about Weiss on the defensive line. So many weapons for the police department. If you're just joining us, we mentioned earlier in the broadcast of they've not let up a touchdown this season. And again, frustrating the fire department offensively on that series.
Trey Wilson, clearly the most explosive, I would say, player on this FDNY Bravest offense, and that's a high snap over Cole's head. He picks it up at the 20. He is going to get it off. Rugby-style kick. He gets a pretty good bounce, but ultimately not their best output for a kick. That was a high snap. I thought Cole was going to come down with it, but it tips off his hands. He's able to avert a major disaster, but still that ends up being maybe a 15-yard punt.
Yeah, I mean, that's a crazy play right there. Francis Cole sort of channeling his inner Garo Yepremian, was that his name, from the Dolphins? Picks it up and astutely gets rid of it.
Good
now, that's
play.
really a
Smart
miracle,
play. Yeah.
Mike. For Cole to have the wherewithal to get rid of that football, it could have been much worse for FDNY on that play. And Steve Orr can't be happy. The special teams coach for the fire department, the longtime president and member of this fire department team, both as a player, a captain as a player, and a special teams coach. But either way, it's police department football.
All right, here's NYPD back to the run. Felder kicks it outside, man. No contain whatsoever. Felder is down to the 30, down to the 20, makes another move, spin move, down to the 5-yard line. A huge run for Justin Felder, and it is going to be 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. Wait a second. We got a hold.
Flag on the
coming
play.
all the way back.
Mike, we talked about it
coming
before
all
the
way
game.
back.
This now the second big play we've seen that has been washed out by a penalty.
Let's see if we can see the hold here. You see Felder kicks it outside. Everything we're seeing there looks good.
Great
it looks
block.
like it might have been downfield a little bit. There
Woodley,
you go.
Woodley had a great block.
I think it was on Obenheim 0 on number 23 for the FDNY. That's Zane Danoon. Looks like he got held. So, look, even if Danoon makes the tackle, Obenheim would have been better off letting Danoon make the tackle. They would have had a 25-yard gain, maybe 30 on the play.
Well, that's a great call, though, by the official. A clear hold, which is going to bring it back.
Okay, so it'll be first down, and it's back to Woodley, who is dropped right at the 49-yard line. That'll make it second down and about 5.
Mike, just going back to that penalty again, that would have been the longest run of the night for Felder. But, you know, with this 1-2 punch of Felder and Woodley, I'm telling you, Clive Harding and both George Burke told me this week, we've got to establish the run. If we establish the run, we will win this game. And that's exactly what the police department have done here in the first half.
Okay, 6:40 to go in the half. And a big second down here for the Finest. Still 6-0 here. Live from Mitchell Field on Long Island. And it's Quinlan back to pass. He's going to roll out to his left. We have a flag down, probably in the area of what would be a holding. Quinlan scrambles out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage, and I think this one's going to get pushed back for 10 yards for a hold. That's what I'm seeing. As we sort this out, let me tell you about ECAD, Educated Canines Assisting with Disabilities. Our mission is to enable people with disabilities to gain greater independence and mobility through the use of specially educated dogs. Visit ecad1.org to learn more about our service dogs program. So that was a hold. So 2 huge holding penalties for NYPD on this drive. One erasing an over 50-yard run, and this one pushes them back 10 yards to make it second and 15.
Well, you mentioned pushing it back. The mantra all week long from the fire department of New York City, 3 words, Mike: take it back. And they're talking, of course, about the Fun City Bowl trophy that they lost last year. If you're just joining us, John Heffernan and Mike Blewett, it's been a all-defensive battle here in the first half, Mike. And I kind of like that take it back. Reminds me of Rocky 1. Do-do-do-do, take it back. Do-do-do-do,
warming your hands in front of fire.
Take it back. So a couple penalties have backed up the police department. We'll see how it shapes out here on second down.
All right, second down and 15 from the 37-yard line. It's Quinlan back to Bass, and he's going deep down the sidelines. He's got number 9. That's Kyle Johnson over his head, but Johnson had a step on the FDNY defense. That one falls incomplete. Big missed opportunity there for Quinlan.
Well, the number 1 go-to target throughout 2025 has been this guy, number 9, Kyle Johnson for the police department. And a lot of rumors this week, Mike, about Johnson being banged up and not 100%. Some were saying he might not even start today. Didn't look too bad there. And you know what? He beat his guys, just a little overthrown by Quinlan.
All right, so 5:47 left. We got some interviews coming up at halftime, don't we, John?
Yeah, Dave Guerra, the first deputy commissioner for the FDNY and a FDNY Bravest football alumni, will be joining us live in the booth. That's coming up at halftime. In addition to Tanya Kinsella, the first deputy commissioner for the New York City Police Department, I believe will be joining us as well. Okay, it looks like Tanya will not be joining us, but we will look forward to speaking to Dave Guerra.
Okay, so here we go with third down, and it's about 16 actually. Quinlan looking downfield. He's under pressure, but hits Felder for the pass. It falls incomplete. Good defense there by FDNY, and that ball is going to be on the turf, incomplete. It'll bring us to fourth down, 4th and 16, and it is punting time. Zabransky will be back to punt. Ortega there to receive. Here's the play yet again, John.
You know, Mike, it continues to impress me how the fire department continues to respond defensively. They got a couple of breaks with flags in that series.
That's Hassan in on the coverage. Good
but
play.
Hassan, great job, and it will be the fire department to take over after this punt.
All right, Zabransky standing on his own 25-yard line, boots it deep, and Ortega's going to catch it on the fly. He's at his 25, bounces it out to the 30. He's going to be pushed out of bounds at the 35, so a return of about 11, and it'll be first down and 10 from the 30-yard line for the FDNY. We hit a break right now and come back with more Fun City Bowl action.
New York Firefighters Heart and Lung Institute is a medical center for firefighters, designed by firefighters. As a leading provider of advanced medical screenings, we take pride in offering the best healthcare experience for firefighters and first responders. Since 2002, the New York Firefighters Heart and Lung Institute has been dedicated to screening, diagnosing, and treating first responders and their families each and every day. We provide a broad range of testing and medical care, including cardiac and pulmonary testing, as well as educational seminars focused on firefighter safety throughout the USA and Canada. We are proud to have recently...
You want me to get...
Interview at halftime will be with Mark Guerra, not Dave. Dave's his brother. So he's here in the booth with us to make sure that we have the right Guerra. But on first down and 10, we have a quick out pass. That's from Heedles to Ortega. Good for about 5 on the play. 4 yards, call it, on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 6 from the 39-yard line. Mark Wachter will be the other interview at halftime. We'll be sure to bring you those live from our booth right here. So 2nd down and 6, John.
2nd and 6, and Mike, with about 5 minutes to go till the half, a huge series here for the fire department. It'd be interesting to see how they respond. Heedles in the shotgun set.
We got a false start there. That's on Evan Flowers. He moved early, and it'll be push it back 5 yards. That'll make it 2nd and 11 for the FDNY from their own 34-yard line. So tough procedural penalty there for the Bravest yet again while they are sorting things out. On your 6, bourbon whiskey, inspired by everyday heroes like nurses, police officers, teachers, and firefighters who make this country so loved and respected. We keep the military tradition of grabbing a drink to celebrate someone who's got your 6. Visit onyour6.com today to purchase your first bottle. We're actually got a timeout on the field. We'll come back with more Fun City Bowl action after this.
So how many saw Forrest Gump? Well, I'm Gary Sinise. I play Lieutenant Dan.
Hello, I'm Gary Sinise, and while you may recognize me from movies or television, my life's mission has been to honor and support our nation's veterans, servicemen and women, first responders, our most severely wounded heroes, the families of our fallen, and those suffering from the invisible wounds of war.
I appreciate everything that you do for our troops.
Thank you for what you do for these veterans.
What you do for the soldiers, God bless you.
I lost my dad.
I know, and we want to show you that we don't forget your dad.
It's meaningful.
Yeah.
Because I didn't expect any of this, I was just happy to be alive. So when everyone showed their love and support, it's overwhelming.
Please join me to help us help our defenders who keep us safe and our communities strong. Donate today at GarySiniseFoundation.org.
All right, we are back live from Mitchell Field here on Long Island. Fun City Bowl, NYPD finest, up 6-0 on the FDNY Bravest team. 4:38 left in the second quarter. 2nd and 11 from their own 34. Heedles back to pass. Looked like movement, but they did not throw the flag, and that's a broken play. Heedles scrambling, looking for somebody, and he throws incomplete, abilities the sack, and just an incomplete pass, a broken play from the beginning, John.
Heedles, the wily veteran, doesn't force anything crazy here, although he is forced out of the pocket, stays on his feet, and decides to wisely throw it away.
Somebody whose name we've mentioned a couple of times now, Matthew Weiss, the defensive lineman from NYPD, really creating havoc on that play and throughout this game. One of their key defensive players is Weiss.
Well, we mentioned him earlier, Mike, as you said. He is one of the most complete defensive players on the New York City Police Department, equally as adept at stopping the run as he is rushing the passer.
Okay, big 3rd and 11 here. Heedles catches the low snap, tries to throw it out to Ortega, and it is knocked away by number 16, Earl Lucas. That was close to being an interception there by Heedles, but that ball falls incomplete. Big play by Lucas. As you can see, we'll run it back here for you.
Yeah, and you know, Earl Lucas does the right thing here. With 4 minutes to go till the half, you're up 6. Let's not try to be a rock star here. Safely bat it away. Let's say he misses that, pops it up in the air, or Ortega could catch it. Just the safe, no-nonsense DB approach, and it played beautifully by number 16, Earl Lucas.
Textbook coverage there. Cole's punt a little short. It hits number 23, Danoon, and is going to come to a rest at the 35-yard line. NYPD will take over 1st and 10. Breaking the action here on the NPSFL network. Back with more after this. Since 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation has been helping America's heroes by providing mortgage-free homes to Cold Star and fallen first responder families. We're also committed to eradicating veteran homelessness and helping America to never forget September 11th, 2001. Visit T2T.org for more information or to make your donation today.
Mike, I'm still just amazed at this low score. I mean, we've seen glimpses of some offensive brilliance from both of these teams here today. Penalty flags really causing lots of problems for both the fire department and the police department. With 3:35 to go, 6-0. Both of these teams very much in it.
So on that first down, Felder dropped for at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 35. Quinlan bobbles the snap but gets it out to Woodley. Quick pass there, no fumble there. He's already down. So Woodley catches it and is dropped after a gain of 3. And quickly, 3rd and 7, 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go and counting in this first half. A quick first half. Obviously, that long sustained drive by NYPD took a lot of time off the clock. And with under 3 minutes to go now, I think they're going to be very comfortable, John, trying to, if they get this first down, I would suspect that they're going to try to do their best to run out the clock in the first half.
That would be the wise thing to do. But the way this one's gone, Mike, you know, and we talked about it all game long, all broadcast long. You could throw the records out the books. You can throw, you got to put all the chips on the table at some point and take swing for the fences as far as I'm concerned to get this win. 6 points isn't going to do it here.
That's going to be a false start on Woodley. FDNY started to move forward, and I think it caused Woodley to jump there. I don't think that's encroachment on FDNY. That looks like a simple false start on Woodley.
We'll see as they talk it over now. Big number 60 for the police department. And that is Kenny McNair, left guard. You talk about intimidating. You got that guy.
All right, let's see what the call is here. NYPD pleading with the officials, and they don't get their way. Kyle Johnson jumping up and down, trying to influence the officials. Doesn't work. It's going to be 3rd and long. So that's a bad penalty right there. It pushes it to 3rd and 14 from their own 32, John.
Yeah, a really tough penalty as we see once again the police department getting backed up. And it's a huge play here with 2:24 to go till the half.
Yeah, clock moving now at 2:20 and counting. It's Quinlan in the backfield, Woodley to his right, and he's going to pitch it out to Obenheim. Quinlan out there lead blocking. Nothing doing there, maybe 3 yards on the play. Frank Zerbo runs Obenheim out of bounds, and it's a 4th down and 10. NYPD will be punting.
Yeah, Obenheim running about 25 yards to pick up 2 as Quinlan fakes the handoff to number 2, Woodley. And the end around by Obenheim. He runs out of real estate as number 44. on the chase.
We're at the 2-minute warning here, but we're going to stay with the action. And the Gary Sinise Foundation, at the Gary Sinise Foundation, we serve our nation by honoring our defenders, veterans, first responders, their families, and those in need. We do this by creating and supporting unique programs designed to entertain, educate, inspire, strengthen, and build communities. Visit GarySiniseFoundation.org to learn more and how you can contribute to our mission.
So, Mike, with the 2-minute warning upon us, what do you think PD does here on a big play coming up?
And it's 4th down. They're going to have to punt it away here. I think the real question that we're going to have to see here is, can FDNY get anything on the board here in the first half? They passed up that field goal early, and now you're starting to think maybe they should have taken these points. This is an NYPD team that shut out their last 2 opponents, and they've racked up 36-6, 35-0, and 34-0 victories this season. So a tough team to contend with and difficult to put points up. So you have to hope FDNY musters something here. A tough snap there, but Zabransky handles it, and Ortega is telling everybody to get away from it. It may bounce all the way into the end zone. Wow. That is a 66-yard punt by Zabransky. He gets the big bounce. I'm sure he wanted somebody to possibly down it. But as we switch sides of the field here, we're going to take a quick break and come back with more.
Our mission is providing that support, advocacy, and awareness for organ donation. Be a forever hero, donate life is the message we want to get out there.
As an FDNY firefighter, he was a hero in life. As an organ donor, Billy Moon, also a hero in death.
FDNY firefighter Billy Moon's heart was successfully transplanted into 63-year-old Richard Grell last December.
And as his widow, Christina, processed her heartbreak and her grief, she fulfilled a promise that was made to her husband and donated his organs so others could live. 5 lives were saved in the process.
There are around 103,000 people waiting for a transplant across the country. One person can save 8 lives and improve up to 75 more.
Okay, 1st and 10 back here at Mitchell Field on Long Island. Fun City Bowl 2025. NYPD finest with a 6-0 lead over the FDNY Bravest. Mike Blewett along with John Heffernan. And with 1:50 to go, 1st and 10, FDNY starting it out. And you've got Calabrese there in shotgun formation. He's bringing Evan Flowers across. And they fumble the snap. The exchange does not go the way they wanted. And disaster strikes FDNY. Calabrese hits Trey Wilson on the hip, and the ball is just laying there for Kendall Clark to jump on it. 1st down for the NYPD. That could not have gone worse.
Yeah, and the Tottenville kid who hasn't played in several weeks just kind of gets off the knee of Wilson.
That was intended to be a fake the whole way, and he just clipped Trey Wilson's hip, and it knocked the ball out of his hands. An absolute disaster for FDNY trying to put points up, and now they're going to have to do everything they can to keep NYPD off the field. So with 1:44 to go, 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line, and Quinlan is in shotgun formation for NYPD. He's got Woodley and Felder right behind him, and now that snap rolls between his legs and all the way past the 30-yard line. So a little bit of a break for FDNY. That's a loss of 17 yards on the bad snap.
A comedy of errors here in the last 2 plays. First, it's Calabrese, and once again, it's another bad snap, as Quinlan had no chance of getting at that one. But luckily for PD, Quinlan jumps on top and saves the day.
All right, so now we are working with the clock situation as well, too. This play will not get snapped until under a minute to go. You've got 2nd and 23. How aggressive do you want to get here? You have to still, though, pick up some yardage. As of this moment, it's a 50-yard field goal. I don't think NYPD kickers have shown that kind of leg for the kicks. So here's Quinlan back to pass. He's got plenty of time, and he goes to the end zone, and it's caught. Touchdown, Chris McGrain. They let him get behind the defense somehow, and he just throws a strike at 33-yard touchdown.
We talked about the ability of Chris McGrain at the receiver position with kickoff returns, and there goes the cannon. And Chris McGrain at a CW post with a huge, huge touchdown reception on an absolute laser from Davian Quinlan, who had plenty of time to throw the football. He steps up in the pocket there, Mike, and unleashes an absolute dime. Put it right into the hands of Quinlan, right into the hands of McGrain, over the hands of Anthony Phipps. And it's now 13-6 with that extra point.
And Zabransky is able to convert this extra point, 13-6, 13 to nothing. 13 to nothing. We'll come back, break that play down when we come back with more Fun City Bowl, close out this first half.
We frequently either stop looking for signs of hope and praying for a swift end to our agonizing pain. As one who has walked down this road, I can honestly say that nothing I have ever done has given me more hope, more relief, or renew my courage like my relationship to ECAN, especially the reception of my new best friend, Dozer.
If you're serious about winning some money, stop what you're doing and head to takingvegas.com. Their free play record is 22-12, and right now they're offering 7 free days of their top play service for our NPSFL network audience. Winning is great, but Taking Vegas is legendary. Visit takingvegas.com to start winning today. 13-0, John, 41 seconds left, and Zabransky will kick off to the FDNY. Speaking of legendary, Zabransky, with all the attention Cole's been getting as the best kicker in the league, Zabransky's been pretty darn good here today. Wheeler weaving through the NYPD coverage there out to the 35-yard line. Pretty good starting position with 33 seconds left. Time to be aggressive, right? Well, Mike, let's back it up a little bit more. Speaking of being aggressive, the coaching staff for the fire department decides to make the switch to Peter Calabrese, and it all goes back to that play that really started things to unwind for the fire department. Calabrese's only second or third appearance in this game today, hasn't played in nearly a month, got the healthy bit of health today to get into the ball game, but it backfired big time for the fire department. Yeah, so Heedles is now going to be in shotgun formation. They're either going to take this one to the half with a simple handoff, or they're going to be really aggressive. And Heedles is back to throw. He's flushed out and has to get rid of it because he's under pressure from number 45 of NYPD. That's Maurice Evans, the defensive end, and he has Heedles wrapped up before he throws it away. No call. I think NYPD might be looking for a flag there for intentional grounding. They're not going to get it. You know, Mike, it all comes down to being a game of inches, and you look at that first offensive series by the fire department and how close Eric Ortega was for busting that into the end zone for 6. Yeah. They get into the red zone and again cannot convert. This game could be a much different type of situation right now if it weren't for a couple of key plays on both sides, some penalties as well. But before you know it, it's 13-0 as we count down the final 27 seconds. Okay, so it'll be 2nd and 10. We'll see what NYPD also does with any timeouts that they might have remaining. I think they might have one left. So here is another low snap to Heedles, and he's going to scramble. He's going to keep it. He gets across the 40-yard line for a gain of 5. But with 15 seconds left, I think that's going to be it. You know, no, Mike, there is a timeout there. So 14 seconds left. They do take the timeout, and it'll be 3rd down and 6 for FDNY. I don't want to pick on John Seda, one of the captains of this fire department team, but the normally sure-handed center for the fire department has definitely had some trouble with his snaps today.
That's something that's going to have to improve in the second half, Mike.
Yeah, so here's Mike Blewett and John Heffernan here with you live from Mitchell Field in Uniondale, Long Island, New York. So kind of a home game for me, buddy. Not too far from where I live.
Right.
So a really nice night for a game. We've had pretty crazy weather. As John mentioned, just a little breezy out here. It hasn't impacted the game too much. Clearly didn't impact Tavian Quinlan's touchdown pass to Chris McGrain. Just blown coverage by FDNY, and that's really what's led to the spread here. They didn't take points early in the game. I'm sure they're regretting that, but really it was the miscue on that fumble that turned this game from a one-score game into now they're trying to make something happen here at the end of the first half.
Absolutely, Mike. And, you mentioned it as far as points and how hard they've been to come by today. A lot of mistakes made in this first half. They're going to have to be cleaned up by both sides.
Yeah. All right,
during
so
halftime.
They're going to hand it off to Trey Wilson, who does get down after being dropped for a loss. That's going to be the last play of the half as we count it down. We head to halftime from Mitchell Field. We'll hit a quick commercial break and come back with some halftime numbers.
Ground Zero is the burial place for my brother, yet I think that not everybody can go to New York and to Ground Zero and visit the memorial there, so we felt it was vitally important once again that we carry the message that we never forget. And one way that you never forget is that if you learn what happened that day, and a lot of young kids don't even know. I hear about September 11th. A lot of them were maybe 10 years old. Now they're 22 years old. A lot of them weren't even born. And I think that one of the most important things as parents, if parents are listening, and the children, is that that you bring them here and you tell them the story. Tell them where you were on September 11th, 2001, and what an impact it had in your life. It changed the world. That day has changed the world. It's not the same world it was on September 10th, 2001, and I think that you have to tell why and what happened that day. Not just because Stephen died, because so many have died that day, and that, and so much of our military has sacrificed so much for us before that, but most certainly ever since. I think this statement really sums up our military and our great first responders. For those I love, I will sacrifice. And this is Kyle Hockenberry, and Kyle his house is under construction right now. And this program here, which is Building for America's Bravest, which is what we spend most of our energy on right now. That and our Never Forget Mobile exhibit here, is that we have to raise a lot of money because our men and women have paid a big price for protecting us here back here in the States, and so many of them coming back, triple, quadruple amputees. So many of are paralyzed, and we're proud to say that we are committed to making sure that every one of them get a house. And it's been a journey the last 12 years. We've met some of the best Americans around the country. It's most certainly, once again, our men and women who serve, but besides that, just everyday Americans who have come together to help our cause, to make sure we never forget and we honor the sacrifice.
This is a very interesting piece, and to me it's the most poignant piece in the exhibit. Welded in New York for the 10th anniversary, was presented to 3 Truck, and 3 Truck their leader that day was Captain Patrick Brown, who in his 24 years of service in the FDNY had received 21 medals for heroism. They had gotten above the 40th floor at that point, he and his men, and they heard and saw what was going on, and they were describing over the radio the injuries that were coming down so that the command post and lobby be ready for it. And the very last transmission that they were able to put out was, "This is 3 Truck, and we're still heading up." And then the building fell on them. So that was their last transmission. That's what I love. They cut out crucifixes, one for each family, one for each fire department member who died that day, to give to their family members on the 10th anniversary. So each family member of a fireman from 3 Truck has this piece of steel as a memento.
I think it's pretty amazing, especially for young kids that weren't there, to see the way our country was able to rally together in a situation like this. It's pretty incredible to bring it home.
It puts shivers up my back, and it's a great remembrance of what we should never let happen again to our great country.
I would encourage anybody who has an opportunity to come down and visit this. It's really something that will bring back a lot of memories if you were involved on that day. And it's good for Americans to see all the things that we've gone through, and we're still here today.
Oh, I think I would encourage people to, tour the museum. It's not a long walk through, but it brings back the memories and it makes you feel like you're an American. And I think people should just go to reflect, and again, how lucky we are to live in this country.
Well, I think just taking 15, 20 minutes before the start of the game right here, where you got 70, 80,000 fans, means a lot. I think it puts the whole day in a proper perspective by kind of going through this first and understanding that the freedoms we have to watch football games are largely built on the shoulders of the gentlemen and soldiers that have paid the sacrifice in combat and in New York City.
At the time, he was only 2 when it happened, so he has no idea about what has happened. And it just brings a lot of memories back. That day is where you were at when it happened. This is a good thing.
I'm glad to see this exhibit. There can't be enough of this. We need to see more of it and remind people what happened and why we are a nation of free people.
Ever wonder who helps our everyday heroes when they need support? Enter fundthefirst.com, a unique crowdfunding platform dedicated to first responders, their families, and their friends. Unlike typical sites, we don't take a cut. Every dollar goes directly to those in need. Whether it's for emergency medical bills, family emergencies, or equipment, fundthefirst.com is there. It's our chance to give back to those who risk it all for us. From police officers to firefighters, these heroes deserve our support. Want to make a real impact? Check out fundthefirst.com and show our heroes that we've got their backs. It's time to support those who always support us.
Hi, everybody. John Heffernan here live on Fox Nation. We're at Mitchell Field. It's halftime. The 52nd Fun City Bowl 2025 version. It's the NYPD with a 13-0 lead over the FDNY. Joining me now live in the press box. Look who we got here, everybody. Detective Lieutenant Mike Cerebolo. Folks, a charter member of the NYPD football team, played in the first 10 Fun City Bowls and had a lot of success. Mike, a lot of success on the job as a detective, lieutenant in New York City, and a lot of success under Joe Loughran, the original head coach. What was it like playing for Joe, and tell us what it was like to experience the first iteration of this Fun City Bowl?
Well, it was an honor and a privilege playing for Coach Loughran. He was the founder of our team. He was our guiding light, and he's still a guiding light in my life today.
That's a beautiful tribute to Joe Loughran, who is really such an exceptional football mind and an exceptional person. I know you guys quickly from 1973 went on to play at Shea Stadium in 1977 and 1978. It's got to be a good feeling to know the foundation that you're a part of as a charter member, and now there's been some whispers that we might have a Hall of Fame in your future as well.
If it happens, it happens. I'm blessed to have been healthy enough to play this game for many years for this great organization under Joe Loughran and Dom Lorendi during my time. Proud to be a charter member. I mean, when I look at these games today, I feel like we were the foundation, the cornerstone, and that they built a strong building around it.
I know you talked about some really good athletes you played with back in the day. Are there any moments that stand out to you, like personal accolades that you had for yourself in a big game like this? Or what do you take from your 10 years in uniform, both on the job and as a player?
There were so many wonderful moments. You know, the first win, we won 21-20 in Brooklyn at Midland High School field. In those days, I had a lot of jobs besides playing in defensive backfield. And that year I held for the extra points, and Harry O'Reilly kicked that 21st point, and we won that game 21-20 late in the game, and it was quite a thrill.
Well, the finest on their way here in 2025, but anything can happen in the second half. Mike, thanks so much for stopping by.
Oh, you're welcome.
That's Lieutenant Mike Saravolo,
Pleasure.
a charter member of the NYPD football team. We'll be back with one more NYPD special guest coming up in about 60 seconds. Back from the
So how many saw Forrest Gump? Well, I'm Gary Sinise. I play Lieutenant Dan.
Hello, I'm Gary Sinise, and while you may recognize me from movies or television, my life's mission has been to honor and support our nation's veterans, servicemen and women, first responders, our most severely wounded heroes, the families of our fallen, and those suffering from the invisible wounds of war.
I appreciate everything that you do for our troops.
Thank you for what you do for these veterans.
What you do for the soldiers, God bless you.
I lost my dad.
I know, and we want to show you that we don't forget your dad. It's meaningful.
Yeah.
Because I didn't expect any of this, you know, I was just happy to be alive. So when everyone showed their love and support, it's overwhelming.
Please join me to help us help our defenders who keep us safe and our communities strong. Donate today at GarySiniseFoundation.org.
Halftime, Mitchell Field, NYPD 13-0 over the Fire Department of New York in the Fun City Bowl 2025 edition. Our second special MVP guest, Mr. Mark Wachter, NYPD inspector. We got a little view from a former player, and now the real deal on the streets of New York City. I know you wear so many hats as an inspector, Mark. Why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, so my unit oversees all the mental health resources, employee resources for the department, and also all our, we have about 47 department sports teams that we oversee, and this is great. Brings the family, brings the kids out, and kind of makes everybody feel good. And we're winning right now, so I'm in a good place right now.
That's right. We don't want to jinx anything, but you know, you mentioned families, and when I think of that, I think about the players out on the field today. You know, they've got one of the hardest jobs in the world, and I want you to break down some of those layers that maybe not everybody knows about, whether it be whether it be about detective, whether it be special operations, and then they've got to play football as well and raise families and have guys like you come along and help out. How do you think that all comes together, and how challenging is it for these guys?
It can be very challenging for them. I mean, between us and the fire department, you know, we're serving the 8.5 million people in the city of New York, and, you know, everybody has mental health challenges. Everybody's got something going on, and, you know, us and the fire department, we're all helpers. We're helping people out, but we also got to help each other out. And so that's what my unit does, offering mental health resources to the families. But this is what it's about. It's bringing everybody together. A good rivalry we've got going on here, but it's about showing our employees, you know what, we do care about them because they do a great job. They do a great job, and we should recognize them, and we should take care of them, and it's really important to be out here with them and support them.
And we loved how you supported some of your fallen PD officers from the past prior to the game. I know Bernie Carrick, the former commissioner for the New York City Police Department, passed away just a few days ago. How important is it to keep the memory alive of guys that you've worked with and guys from past administrations?
No, it's important. And, you know, we say in the police department, we have a little slogan, we never forget and we never. From here, from, you know, Chief Jerry Nelson to Commissioner Carrick, you know, to our families that, you know, unfortunately lost somebody in the line of duty, we are with them 24/7. We're with their families as they grow up to say, you know what, thank you for your sacrifice, and we're not going to forget all the great things that they did.
You know, Mark, well said, by the way, with so many things going on in the public conscience in New York City, the media reports and the subways are dangerous and these are big city problems that New York City is not immune to as compared to other cities across the country. What do you guys continue to work on to improve quality of life in New York? And is some of this stuff overblown, and are New Yorkers safe today?
No, they are. Listen, just look at the crime now in 2025. Way down. We got cops everywhere. They're on the subways in the streets. But it's about building bonds with the community. This is a group thing. It's just not the cops trying to solve the problems. It's the community and the cops getting together, and we're all working together. And look at this. What we do. We work together every single day with the fire department, too. It's all about. It's all working together, one mission, helping each other out.
Predictions for the second half.
Oh, listen. We're up 13-0. Our police department team is going to take this. I'm going to say,
I
like
it.
I'm going to say at least 30. 30-0. That's my prediction.
Ooh, he's going big. Go big or go
two,
home.
2 or 3 more touchdowns. Definitely going to happen today.
Inspector Mark Wachter making the big prediction. We thank you so much for stopping by here at halftime, and continued success, and we thank you for all of your hard work.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. We'll be back with Mike Blewett's own VIP from the Fire Department of New York coming up in about, 60 seconds or so. We'll be back after this.
We're here today right outside Colorado Springs to welcome home DT and his family here in the beautiful smart home that the Tunnel to Towers Foundation has just completed.
I got hurt December 2005 in Afghanistan, and that day we're out on a mission and I got hit by an IED while I was in my truck. Today we're in my home that Tunnel to Tower built for me. A smart home is someone that's disabled like myself, kind of makes their lives a little easier. The thought that I don't have to worry about paying a mortgage.
We're asking all Americans to donate $11 a month. This is where your money's going, and this is what we're doing with it.
You know, some of us came back, some of us didn't, and thank God for organizations like Tunnel Towers. They're able to be there to help us when we need it.
Back live on Fox Nation. Interviews continue at a halftime, and we've got Mark Guerra here. He's the first deputy commissioner at FDNY and an FDNY Bravest football alumni, first deputy commissioner and battalion chief. Mark, thank you for obviously your service to help us protect our community. But as an alumni, obviously it's got to be a fun day out here. Scoreboard's not the way you want it at the moment, but it's a fun day to be out here with some of your alums, right?
It's a great night to be here. Despite what the score is now, I think we're going to turn it around in the second half. I think we're going to get out in front of the cops.
All right, so there we go. We got predictions going both ways, but let's talk a little bit about sort of your role within the fire department. How do you help the rank and file firefighters each and every day?
So I'm over most of the administrative or civilian areas of the department, and we do the work behind the scenes that get the fire trucks and the ambulances out to protect the citizens of the city of New York.
Right. So what are some of the positives in 2025 for the FDNY so far? Obviously, it's a very dangerous job each and every day, but what are some of the positives that you feel like FDNY is making this year and in recent years?
So we're really focusing a lot on our EMS Bureau. Commissioner Tucker and I are very focused on making our EMS Bureau a resource-rich area where we are able to serve the citizens of the city of New York. We do 1.6 million EMS calls a year, and our folks are out there working very hard, and we're trying to support them the best way that we can.
Nearly 8 million people in the city, and certainly on a given work day, it swells to even larger than that with the amount of people coming into the city, so there's a lot to service each and every day. Let's talk a little bit about your football career. What position did you play when you were with the Bravest?
So I was a fullback.
Hard hitter.
Basically a offensive guard in the backfield. I played in 1991 and 1992.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And how was your experience as a football player? Obviously, it's a very tough job, but then having to put extra time in order to make sure your chops are good in between the lines. How tough was that for you to manage?
So the amazing part about the team, whether it was when I played in the 90s or these guys who are out here today, is we do it all on our own time, around our shifts, around our families. The sacrifices that all of these guys have to make, whether it is the PD or us, to work around our very difficult schedules, to be out here and put on a show like this and play the quality and high-level football that they do is really amazing.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm amazed with it each and every season, each and every week here in the National Public Safety Football League. Any final words for your FDNY Bravest team that's out there?
So tonight we honored Tony Mistrelli. He passed away recently from WTC cancer. I played with Tony back in 91 and 92. He played for a lot longer than I did. He was a coach here. I just want to put out there that he was a wonderful guy, beautiful family, and we will never forget him.
Thank you. That's very well said, and we appreciate his service and yours and the players that are on the field each and every day. This is Mark Guerra. He's the first deputy commissioner with FDNY and a battalion chief. We'll be back with more Fun City Bowl action right after this.
Tom Olkers served others.
He was an incredible husband, father, NYPD officer, and FDNY firefighter.
At age 26, Tom worked at Ground Zero in the rescue and recovery efforts following the attacks of 9/11.
Throughout his courageous battle against World Trade Center cancer, Tom deeply appreciated the care provided for him and his family, including the FDNY's Family Assistance Unit.
One of the TO Foundation's first initiatives is to purchase a family assistance van to help ease the burden for other firefighters and their families when facing an illness.
Together, we will honor Tom by helping first responders and their families in their hour of need. Please visit tofamilyfoundation.org today.
That'd be nicer.
There we go. Look at that. There you go. Uncle Mike Selezitsky, Mikey Babes, as you called him.
Yeah, Mikey's got his own cheering section, and it's well deserved as the temps look a little chilly out here as the sun sets here in Uniondale, New York, home of the the New York Islanders.
Well, we're sort of like right here.
UBS
this is
Arena,
Nassau Coliseum.
That's the one.
Is right in front of us. The Islanders don't play there anymore, but there's plenty of events there each and every week.
I heard they might tear it down, Mike.
We're right near Hofstra University. It's right behind us. That's where Mitchell Field sits, right in the center of a lot of sports activity. But the Islanders UBS Arena not too far from here. You know, we had some big events today. We had a Champions League final today. PSG defeats Inter today, 5-0.
That was the talk of the town.
We've got, obviously, Major League Baseball. We've got NBA playoffs. The Knicks are just about to be underway. But you know what
Big
the biggest,
game 6, Mike.
Yeah, but you know what the biggest game is today?
What's that?
Sitting right here in front of us. Fun City Bowl, baby. The two teams that might dislike each other more than any of the other competitors in the global sports scene today. It's the FDNY Bravest football team trying to come back against this NYPD finest team. They're down 13-0. Francis Cole set to kick off.
And, you know, it was that big turnover that led to that second touchdown for the police department, the muffed, what would you call it, with Calabrese?
Just a bad exchange, a bad handoff exchange, but it was meant to be a fake. Here's the kickoff picked up by McGrain. He's across the 25. He bounces over to the 30-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. And wait a second, the ball's fumbled and picked up? I don't know what happened there, but we do have somebody finally tackled there at the end of the play. It might have been a fumbled by McGrain and then picked up again by NYPD. Anyway, what would I call it? I would call it a huge error by the FDNY. It was meant to be a fake handoff. Calabrese hits it off of Trey Wilson's knee, and NYPD falls on it on the 15-yard line. It ultimately leads to a touchdown and a 13-0 lead.
Well, the fact of the matter is, Mike, the fire department unable to put any points on the board in that first half. It'll be interesting to see what Vinny Sheetup, Cam Peake, and Steve Orr can do, and Rob Hoey to shake it up here in the second half. And the fire department's going to have to maybe collect a turnover of their own in order to get back in this thing, because yards have certainly been at a premium with this stingy defense from the police department. And Quinlan now waiting in shotgun set for the ball to be set and the whistle to blow.
So as you said, tough NYPD defense. They've pitched 2 shutouts in their 3 games. 36-6 was the other final against Roanoke. So a team that has the ability to score and really tough on opposing offenses. I think a big part of their success, too, is their ability to sustain these drives, keep those other offenses off the field. And their offense is on the field right now. And you have Quinlan set in the backfield with Woodley to his right, Felder to his left. And in the shotgun formation, here's Quinlan with the snap, and they hand it off to Felder, who's off the right tackle, and quick burst for 11 yards. A first down to start off the second half.
Mike, the leading rusher in that first half is picking up where he left off. Felder has been lights out. He has clearly gotten the most reps today for the police department. And here he is again, finally brought down by number 8 for the fire department, and that was Timmy Dollison.
So here we go with a first down from their own 41-yard line. Same setup, Quinlan in shotgun, Felder and Woodley flanking him. And on 1st and 10, here's the snap. And it is a handoff to Woodley. He goes the other way, and he's across the 50-yard line, across the 45, down to the 41-yard line. That one good for nearly 20 yards, John, and a first down.
Zane Danoon finally brings down Woodley, and look at the hole right up the gut. And we talked about it earlier, the dominance of that offensive line for the NYPD continuing to pay huge dividends. You know, nothing too fancy about it, Mike. Give the ball to 5 or give the ball to 2 and let that O-line do the rest, and it has worked so far for the New York City Police Department.
From the 41 to the 41, a gain of 18, and they bring another back in here. That's number 26 for NYPD, Jerry Brown. 28, excuse me. No, it is 26, Jerry Brown. Sorry about that. So that's their 3rd running back that they've used just in this half alone, John.
Well, you know, and I think you bring up a good point as far as Jerry Brown, or it could be a Chris McGrain. It could be any number of guys. Not only is this roster larger as far as numbers go for the police department, arguably they are a deeper team, and they certainly have a tremendous amount of depth. And you're going to see here now in this 3rd quarter, especially on this drive, the FDNY looks like they're starting to wear down just a little bit.
Yeah, so just a couple of minutes into this 3rd quarter, and Quinlan back to pass now. He's going to call his own number across the 35, across the 30, and he gets down without any contact. A gain of 11 on the play and a first down. We have a flag late. Is that a hit, late hit? We'll have to see this replay. Here it is, John.
Davian Quinlan again with all sorts of time. Steps up in the pocket on the run. The righty tucks it under the left hand, and wisely, you might get a little grief for that quote-unquote slide, but more of a head-first kind of, I don't know what you would call it.
Sort of a half dive, half slide. Not
there
pretty.
There you go. Yeah,
not a lot of style points.
Not pretty, but yeah, Quinlan, all kidding aside, needs to get that slide perfected, because no need for Quinlan to get banged up here with this 13-point lead.
All right, so it looks like we might have had a late hit there and a personal foul. So you take that gain from across the 30, and now they're all the way inside the 15-yard line. It's 1st and 10 from the 14. So, John, a very quick drive here, just 3 minutes into the second half, and NYPD is in the red zone and in scoring distance.
Yeah, and if you're the fire department, at least from a morale point of view, you know, they've tried everything, and they can't seem to slow down this offense.
Yeah, Quinlan fakes. He calls his own number again, and he's going to pick up a gain of about 4. That'll make it 2nd and 6. I know Quinlan, knee been a little bit banged up. He's limping a little bit, but he's been moving well tonight. I think that's why maybe that slide was a little funky going down on that knee. But he'll be 2nd down and Let's call it 6 from the 10-yard line.
Well, Mike, there were a lot of question marks about Quinlan heading into this one. There was some talk about his backup maybe starting today.
Yeah.
Of course, we're talking about Anthony O'Connell. It got so dire, Mike, that a kid 2 weeks out of the police academy, a quarterback, was brought up, number 18, Vincenzo Scarola, out of Wagner, as a standby option for the police department.
Now there's Quinlan. He tosses it to the end zone for Kyle Johnson, who tries a one-hander in the back of the end zone. It falls incomplete. That would have been a highlight reel type of catch. Quinlan kind of on the mark, but Johnson just couldn't quite get there in between the defenders.
I'm still in shock right now at the amount of length and height that Johnson gets here. Almost comes down with it with the one hand.
Khalifa Forbes in the coverage there in the back of the end zone. Again, high degree of difficulty there for Johnson.
And we've seen so many of those at the professional level. It's almost becoming secondary.
Yeah. All right, third down. FDNY needs to get a stop here. And there's going to be a pitch to Felder. He's off the left side. Jason Carteron forces that play out, and Felder runs out of bounds after a gain of a couple. It'll be 4th down, and I'll call it 4. And we got a break in the action. We'll come back with more Fun City Bowl after this.
My mom was the most amazing person in my life.
I would definitely consider my mom as a hero.
I love and miss my mom very much.
The worst day of my life was the day that my mother was murdered on July 5th, 2017. That same night in the hospital, when my brother and sister asked me who was going to take care of them, after I had to break the horribly tragic news that our mother had been murdered, I said, I will take care of you.
There are over 1,000 families that need our help. Tunnel to Towers is honoring those heroes that risked their lives by providing them with mortgage-free homes.
First responders are human too. They have fears and families that they need to come home to. For just $11 a month, you can give back to these heroes who gave up so much for you and ensure that their families will always have a home.
Please donate $11 a month by visiting tunneltotowers.org or calling 1-844-BRAVEST. Thank you.
And we're back here live at Mitchell Field from Tunnel to Towers to Fund the First. FundTheFirst.com is the #1 trusted and free fundraising platform for those who serve their families and their friends. Fund the First is in the business of supporting first responders, military, and medical professionals. Be sure to visit FundTheFirst.com today to launch your fundraiser. Mike.
Great job, John.
Should I go with Billy Moon? Do we have time?
Yeah, let's do it. Billy Moon Foundation.
All right, the Billy Moon Foundation, Mike, an all-important initiative for you to look into. Organ donation is their game, and it can have a profound impact on not just the recipient, but donors and communities as well. We strive to be that lifeline of support for those in need. Visit BillyMoonFoundation.org for more information on how you can register to become an organ donor today.
2 for 2, buddy. Great job there. Zane Danoon, a little banged up on that play, but he walks it off the field, and we'll see if he can return to action here. It will be a kicking situation here on 4th and 4 from their 9-yard line, from the FDNY 9-yard line. They're going to line it up for a field goal here. This will be from 26 yards out. Thomas Zabransky lines up. Here's the snap. Good hold. Kick is up and right down the middle. And that makes it 16-0. NYPD extends their lead with 10 minutes and 22 seconds left in the third quarter. We'll head to a quick break before we come back with more
the
Fun City
boom.
Bowl action.
Here comes the boom. Let's go.
All right, that'll send us off to a commercial break with a style.
Ever wonder who helps our everyday heroes when they need support? Enter FundTheFirst.com, a unique crowdfunding platform dedicated to first responders, their families, and their friends. Unlike typical sites, we don't take a cut. Every dollar goes directly to those in need. Whether it's for emergency medical bills, family emergencies, or equipment, FundTheFirst.com is there. It's our chance to give back to those who risk it all for us. From police officers to firefighters, these heroes deserve our support. Want to make a real impact? Check out FundTheFirst.com and show our heroes that we've got their backs. It's time to support those who always support us.
Thank you, everybody, for watching the Fun City Bowl today. Fun City Bowl 2025. NYPD Finest 16, FDNY Bravest yet to score. And the winner of this game goes on to the national championship game on June 21st against the Chicago PD Enforcers. So obviously a lot on the line. Prideful game and a game with a lot of ramifications. As you see Wheeler pick it up, and he does a little stutter step. Hesitates, but brings it back out to the 31-yard line. We have a late flag. No flag on the play. And it'll be 1st and 10 for that FDNY Bravest offense. And now, John, it is desperation time.
It is, and, there's certainly plenty of time to go, Mike, in this ball game. And really, the FDNY is just one play away, one big play away from being right back in this thing. So anything can happen. Third quarter just underway, and do not give up. Do not turn away to this game, because when it comes to the fire department of New York, they make their bread and butter on the field and in their job with the camaraderie and the teamwork, and they're not going to go away quietly, I can promise you that.
No doubt. They have certainly fought back in their games this year. And here we go. They're going to keep it simple, hand it off to Tremaine Wilson. On 1st down, he's met at the line of scrimmage and dropped. It'll be 2nd and 10 from their own 31-yard line.
And Big Mo Evans, number 45, the defensive end for the police department, with a big tackle there.
One of the other key players for NYPD is Matthew Weiss. He's a player that we have talked about a couple of times today, and here's a spotlight on him. He's his 2nd season here with the NYPD Finest. He played at Southern Connecticut State University. He says he joined the NYPD football team to continue playing the sport that I love. Having an opportunity to continue playing was a no-brainer for me. The camaraderie and atmosphere that this team exposes me to is something that I'll always be grateful for. And it's Matthew Weiss, the defensive lineman from the NYPD, who's been a force throughout the season and made some plays today, putting Tom Heedles under pressure.
Well, the president of the NYPD football team, George Burke, calls Matt Weiss. Not only is he a special player and a great run stopper and a pass rusher, but he'll clog up the middle. He's one of our most highly skilled guys on the D-line, and George Burke went on to say, this guy can do it all. And I don't know if you've met George Burke or not, but that guy looks like he can still play. He stood out at nose guard for the NYPD for many years, now the team president. Guy is a house, and his son's a terrific lacrosse player right out here on Long Island, as well as his daughter.
That's great. My kids play that sport as well. We're a lacrosse family in the Blewett household. Got a chance to see the Final Four of lacrosse up in Massachusetts last weekend.
Very nice. In Foxborough, were you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
Gillette Stadium.
You're a BC guy, a BC alum, Chestnut Hill.
Shout out to my BC brethren. My college reunion is this weekend. I got a chance to go up for just one night last night.
Oh, but did he make it worth it?
They are partying away right now, I'm sure. Tough weather up there today, but I was happy to see all my great friends, a place that I love and a place that I got to enjoy a couple of times within the last week. I've been on that campus after not being there for years.
And it was the Big Red of Cornell bringing home the hardware, Division I.
First time they had won in 48 years. Let's see if FDNY gets something going here, and they do. Heedles to Evan Flowers, good for 11 yards on the play and a first down. FDNY needed that. We'll see if they can get some momentum going.
Well, there you go. One step at a time, one play at a time. And for Heedles, the righty, one pass at a time, going to his favorite target, one of his favorite targets. This time it's Evan Flowers, who's been kind of quiet today as far as Evan Flowers is gone this season. But then again, the entire offense has been stifled for most of this game. But a big gain and a nice catch and throw from Heedles to Flowers.
Okay, 9 minutes and counting in the third quarter. Still 16-0 here. FDNY trying to get something going here with a drive. It's 1st and 10 from their own 38-yard line, and Heedle's back to pass. He's got number 24 for the FDNY. That is Kasim Thomas. Haven't called his name much, but he catches one. Fortunately, that screen, he sort of stumbles after catching it, and it results in a 3-yard loss on the play for FDNY.
Kind of a late hit there, too, that Thomas needs to shake off. The 5'10", 190-pounder. You mentioned kind of tripping over the 40-yard line there. Manages just to hold on to the ball.
He tries to get back and run with it and wasn't getting anywhere far. So 2nd and 13 on the play, on this play. And we've got Tremaine Wilson in the backfield behind Thomas Heedles. He's got Gerard Waterman in motion, and it's going to be a handoff to Wilson. He bounces off the first tackler, does not bounce off the second. He's met behind the line of scrimmage. Trey Wilson, normally a huge component of this offense for FDNY, not able to get anything going today. They meet him at the line of scrimmage.
Well, maybe we could take a look at that one more time. Look at the penetration here, too, by number 74, Daniel Farrell. Right off the line. Wilson gets past him. Farrell comes back to the play, but I only mentioned Farrell because of the push he gets in that right off the snap. Those guys are all over it.
And the linebacker duo of Kendall Clark and Manny Tejada in on that too. Clark with the first hit and Tejada there to finish it off.
And that's just an absolute handful for especially for some guys on FD. They're playing the offensive line for the first time here in this 2025 season. We mentioned them earlier in the broadcast. And it's not been an easy task for the O-line.
All right, 3rd and 13. Heedles back to pass. He's going to tuck and run out of desperation, and he's going to get it. Across the 50-yard line, he bounces off another tackler, down past the 45, tackled at the 44. Big first down play on Heedles on a broken play, but he makes something happen.
Sometimes you got to do whatever it takes. And as you mentioned, it's a busted play. Heedles is off and running. And look at Heedles go past the 50. And he's finally brought down in FD in PD territory.
All right, we're going to take a break with from the live action to go to our sponsor's message just for one moment.
Our mission is providing that support, advocacy, and awareness for organ donation. Be a forever hero, donate life is the message we want to get out there.
As an FDNY firefighter, he was a hero in life. As an organ donor, Billy Moon, also a hero in death.
FDNY firefighter Billy Moon's heart was successfully transplanted into 63-year-old Richard Grell last December.
And as his widow, Christina, processed her heartbreak and her grief, she fulfilled a promise that was made to her husband and donated his organs so others could live. 5 lives were saved in the process.
There are around 103,000 people waiting for a transplant across the country. One person can save 8 lives and improve up to 75 more.
Back to live action here at Mitchell Field, Long Island, New York. Heedle's going to take a break after taking that hit. Calabrese comes in. He's rolling out to his right. He's going to throw downfield. He's got Ortega, but just out of the reach of Eric Ortega. That pass falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10 from the NYPD 43-yard line.
Well, a tough break for Heedles. Calabrese is inserted, and he gets right to work, just a bit overthrown. It'll bring up 2nd down, but an opportunity to see what this kid can do here in the second half. Pete Calabrese.
So Heedles with that big run, gets a little banged up, but he's throwing the ball around here on the sidelines. We'll see when he checks back into the lineup, but Calabrese is going to have to try to make something happen here. We have a substitution infraction here. The officials looking to the sideline here. for FDNY. Clock issue. So 6 minutes. 6 should be at 6:15, I think he's saying, on the clock. So just a little bit of officiating work here. There we go. 6:15. Added 15 seconds back to the clock. They had run the clock. Go ahead.
You know, we mentioned it earlier. Calabrese, one of the better athletes on this fire department team, finally healthy. And he really does have an opportunity, Mike, right now to try to get something going. With it now being second down with just under 6 minutes to go, this really is a huge drive for the fire department. Got to get something on the board, Mike.
I have to. It's got to be 6 here.
Well, I mean, listen, even an injection of life, even if Cole, if you can get into field goal range, something to give them a little bit of wind to the sails, a little bit of life.
Yeah.
Something to work from.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, you're not going to pass up on the field goal, but they really need this to be 6. You and I talked about this during one of the breaks. I think NYPD, once they get a lead like this, they're going to keep going to the rushing attack and trying to churn clock. So with that duo of Woodley and obviously particularly Felder, it's hard to get them off the field when they start churning up those rushing yards. So we'll see if FDNY can get something done here offensively. Calabrese still here in shotgun formation. He rolls out to his right. He's looking downfield. He goes towards the end zone, but underthrows it badly, and that is picked off. That is picked off by number 32, I believe, for the NYPD defense, and that is Mustafa Young. Mustafa Young with the interception. Calabrese badly underthrew that one, John.
Yeah, you know, and listen, it's sometimes in these games, unlikely heroes emerge. Pulling for Calabrese here. I don't want to beat up the youngster. It's well underthrown into double coverage, and that's certainly one Calabrese would like back.
Yeah, not a great decision there. It's compounded by the fact that it's underthrown. If he didn't get that over everybody's head, there was big-time trouble, and it ended up being so. Well, easy pick for Young, and he gets a decent run back here to the 24-yard line.
Absolutely, and, you know, if you're a fire department Bravest fan, Calabrese is the future of this program, and, you know, it comes with growing pains, and he will learn. He will learn from this game here tonight.
Okay, they go to Woodley, who's up the middle, and he bursts for 15 yards and more all the way up to the 44-yard line. Nearly a 20-yard run on the play for Woodley.
Forbes and Mike Hart, who we haven't called a lot of tonight, in on the tackle. And Mike Hart comes all the way back. But again, it's that strong work of the offensive line. Look at how much ground Hart covered there to get the tackle. Hart was kind of taken out of that play early on and never gave up on it, which you like to see. But Mike, let's be honest, man. Is it me, or do you feel like the wheels might be coming off the fire department?
Well, they have to get a stop here. A turnover would be ideal, but I don't know that NYPD is going to put it in the air. Felder and Woodley are pretty sure-handed runners, and Felder takes that first down run off the right tackle, and he picks up 9 on the play. I mean, they've just ripped off nearly 30 yards on these two plays without even much of an effort. I think FDNY is probably the battle that they're seeing right now. I think they know that they're playing against a team whose line play has really outplayed them today.
Yeah, for sure, and that's really where it begins and ends, in the trenches. And this is a deep NYPD team, and, you know, Cam Peake, the head coach for the fire department in New York, said, you know what, John, despite being perhaps outmanned somewhat this year, pressure is a privilege. FDNY under the gun right now.
Woodley breaks it again he's across the 30-yard line. Woodley just easily running through that FDNY second level, and he picks up a huge gain for another first down for the NYPD.
And Woodley grabbing at that right hamstring. It'll be interesting to see whether he gets back into the ball game. But Woodley A little juke to his left, back to his right, outside, inside, breaking tackles all over the place. I mean, at least 4 or 5 PD, FD guys are falling off of the low center of gravity.
An 18-yard run on the play for Woodley.
My gosh.
And
It's
now,
straight up the gut, Mike. Nothing pretty.
And here's Felder standing next to Quinlan. I'd imagine you'll see Felder get the ball here, and you do. And he's met at the line of scrimmage. Good play there by FDNY. Gang tackled at the line of scrimmage, so be 2nd and 10.
That was number 92 in on the tackle. That's Kumi Stevens, 6'6", 275. And we haven't called his name too much here tonight. But Stevens looked real solid there.
Good play by Stevens, obviously, to try to stop the momentum. They give Felder a yard on the play.
And Denzel Wilson has got to be absolutely exhausted. This guy has not been off the field, and the defense has been on the field quite a bit here throughout, with the time of possession certainly leaning towards the favor of the police department.
They bring Jerry Brown in here at the backfield, and he is going to get the carry here. He is wrapped up again at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 9. So FDNY get a stop here and force them into a kicking situation. We're going to take a quick break right now and come back with more Fun City Bowl action.
We frequently either stop looking for signs of hope and praying for a swift end to our agonizing pain. As one who has walked down this road, I can honestly say that nothing I have ever done has given me more hope, more relief, or renew my courage like my relationship to ECAN, especially the reception of my new best friend, Dozer.
All right, here we go. 3rd down. It'll be 3rd and 7. With Woodley rolling out to his left. Here is Quinlan looking for, is that McGrain over the middle? It is. Right at the 1st down marker. And they give them the 1st down. 1st down, that's a pitch and catch, easy. Quinlan to McGrain for the 1st down.
You know, Mike, you mentioned not calling much of McGrain in the last broadcast we did. Well, we've called a lot of them here today. Another example of the different weapons that this PD offense has. You know, a couple of running backs we haven't talked about much today. Joe Boscia, I don't think he's even gotten 1 carry. Eugene Whitehead, Justin Felder, and William Woodley. It's been all Woodley and Felder. And just speaks to the depth, again, of this PD team. Lots of weapons for Davian Quinlan.
All right, so with a 16-0 lead and under 5 minutes to go, NYPD kind of trying to put the finishing touches on this one, and that ball is thrown into the end zone and out of bounds. Intended receiver was Brian Dice, but Quinlan unable to hit him.
And, you know, not unlike the rookie Calabrese, Quinlan, who's been through the wars, you know, doesn't try to force that, throws it out of bounds. 16-point lead. You don't have to get crazy.
All right, so it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 13-yard line. Again, thank you to all the viewers tuning in from Fox Nation, the NPSFL network.
Hey, we had the Fox and Friends appearance the
Well,
other
how about
morning
that?
with the boys, both from FD and PD.
That's right, Finest and Bravest on Fox and Friends the other day.
Live, and we had our local Channel 5 Fox News this morning.
The host really trying to prod them into some live trash talk. It worked, to be honest. But, all right, here's Quinlan. He rolls out to his left. He's looking in the end zone. He's got all day, but he, again, has to throw it out of bounds over the head of Brian Dice. So incomplete, and that'll be 3rd down and 10 from that same 13-yard line, Jeff.
We really want to thank Fox and their all all the Fox friends, I should say, under the
Fox
umbrella.
family of networks.
There you go, Mike.
How about that?
Thank God you're here, including Fox Nation. It's been a terrific partnership this season, and we appreciate Fox giving us some room to grow as we continue to try to expand this great National Public Safety Football League comprised of first responders all over the country. And Fox News, Fox Network, and Fox Nation, all a big part of that here in 2024.
Other games today, you got Charlotte Cobras at the Roanoke Rampage, the Tri-State Shields. You're playing the NYCD Boldest. So lots of games this weekend, but this one, the one with the most on the line, and there is Quinlan, hit as he throws by Denzel Wilson. That is a huge hit that Quinlan took, and that ball falls incomplete.
You know, you were talking about trash talking. You know, look at this. Look at Denzel Wilson, down 16-0. This guy's double teamed. He railroads one guy, pushes him aside, and look at the big fella with the pursuit. And it's a very textbook tackle, too. Wraps at the waist, not leading with the head.
If I'm Quinlan there, I'm thinking about taking a knee instead of taking that hit.
But the big fella, we're here with 4 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Live to fight another day, Devian. But with a 16-0 lead, Zabransky comes out for what will be a 29-yard field goal attempt. Mustafa Young on the hold. He puts it down. The kick is up, and it is good right down. No good.
No good. Wide right.
Wide right. Good call on that one, John.
Tough angle.
Tough angle here.
Yeah.
Jeez, maybe you get some new glasses. Anyway, that is no good, and FDNY needed that. They'll take over from the 20-yard line. And that we'll head to our sponsors' messages now and come back with more Fun City Bowl action.
So how many saw Forrest Gump? Well, I'm Gary Sinise, and I play Lieutenant Dan.
Hello, I'm Gary Sinise, and while you may recognize me from movies or television, my life's mission has been to honor and support our nation's veterans, servicemen and women, first responders, our most severely wounded heroes, the families of our fallen, and those suffering from the invisible wounds of war.
I appreciate everything that you do for our troops.
Thank you for what you do for these veterans.
What you do for the soldiers, God bless you.
I lost my dad.
I know. And we want to show you that we don't forget your dad.
It's meaningful.
Yeah.
Because I didn't expect any of this, you know. I was just happy to be alive. So when everyone showed their love and support, it's overwhelming.
Please join me to help us help our defenders who keep us safe and our communities strong. Donate today at GarySiniseFoundation.org.
Okay, here we go. Start of the fourth quarter. Sorry, a little bit of a clock issue there, but this looks like the first play of the fourth quarter here, John. 16-0 NYPD after the missed field goal by Zabransky. FDNY is going to come out, and it's Calabrese back here. He's going to tuck and run on first down and dropped after a yard. Nobody open. He's under pressure. Calabrese can't do anything.
I guess, more importantly, with Calabrese staying out there, clearly I'm guessing Heels isn't ready to go. Calabrese gets the sign from the offensive coordinator, Vinny Sheeta, and it'll be Pete Calabrese. And, that missed field goal, Mike, is huge because it goes from a 3-score game to potentially 2 scores, if you get 2 touchdowns with the two-point conversions. But it keeps FD alive a little bit more.
Absolutely. Still striking distance. That would have made it a 3-score game and been very tough for FDNY to overcome in the fourth quarter. Here's Calabrese back to pass. He's over the middle of Ortega, complete for a first down. Good throw, good catch, solid movement forward. Gain of 15 for the Bravest.
And that's all Calabrese needs, a little bit of rhythm, a little bit of confidence. Not the most traditional arm, but you know what, Mike? He gets rid of the ball quickly. Not only does he have time to throw it there, but it's a quick release, bang, right to Ortega, who is up underneath number 16 defensively for the police department. And that was Earl Lucas again.
And I wouldn't suggest that they have to go to a 2-minute offense here, but huddling up after every play, I don't think is in the best course of action right now for the Bravest. And here's Calabrese, catches a tough snap there, and he's immediately under pressure and dropped for a loss. It's a loss of 4 on the play. That'll make it 2nd and 14 from their own 33. And again, another example of the NYPD trench warfare just overcoming the FDNY Bravest team.
And Dan Effinger has more like guerrilla warfare. That guy doing whatever he can. The defensive lineman, number 58 for the police department, he has been good today, and he was very good on that play.
Yeah, the defensive line features, as you said, Effinger, number 70, Matthew Weiss, number 45, Mo Evans, all standout players on this NYPD team. Really, the first 2 levels of this defense, we call their names a lot, Tejada and Clark at the linebacker positions and those defensive linemen that we just mentioned. It's going to be a bunch formation to the left. You've got number 24 for, there's Calabrese. He fakes the run. We've got a flag down. Again, a mess of a play there. Calabrese just has to tuck and run on a broken play.
I was unsettled from the get-go. Calabrese barking out orders to his receivers to get set to his left. But, you know, the one thing, if there's any silver lining to this drive, I like how Calabrese has responded. He's fearless out there, Mike. This is the biggest stage of his post-playing career as a high school and college kid, and I like how he's taking charge out there. A couple of turnovers have not fazed him, and with the game on the line here in the 4th quarter, it's going to get backed up and make it even tougher for the fire department. Now 12:18 on the clock.
You get the holding call there. Like John said, just over 12 minutes to go. It's 2nd and 21, so they get the down back, but the holding call penalty is accepted. So 2nd and 21 from their own 25-yard line. And Calabrese has 3 wide receivers in here. Kasim Thomas, the back, behind him. And Calabrese just can't find anybody open. He's forced to run again. He does squeeze out of a tackle there for 6 yards. And that'll make it 3rd and 15 for Calabrese.
Mo Evans, again, the defensive end, making his presence felt as Calabrese has absolutely very, very little time. Steps up in the pocket. Give him credit for sensing the collapse.
Yeah, that's the thing I was going to say. It feels like he's tucking and running too early, but he's got to go. They're surrounding him.
Yeah, and Evans was there, again, pursuing Calabrese. But, again, as far as the future, and I don't mean to say this game is over by a long shot, but Calabrese finally getting in there and not piecemeal today. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay, here's Calabrese back to pass. He's looking downfield. Matthew Weiss pressures him and sacks him. Maybe he gets past the line of scrimmage, so technically not a sack. It'll be a gain of about a half a yard on the play, but Weiss, again, we're calling his name. He's one of the players we spotlighted, and here he is again.
And Weiss finally comes off the field, but look at him here, Mike. Weiss, for his size, goes with the swim, and he's actually held there by number 33 for the FDNY. That was Richie Richards. But Matt Weiss, man, he is, just think about it. He hasn't been off the field. It's the 4th quarter as Cole is back to punt, but he doesn't seem like he's lost a step, Mike.
No, and there, just Francis Cole back to punt. He gets one off. He's hit, though, and that's going to be a roughing the punter penalty. FDNY is going to get a huge gift here. That is a roughing the punter penalty. Should give them an automatic first down as Cole was hit after the release.
Well, it looked like PD might have gotten a piece of it as Cole.
I don't think he touched it there, John, on that replay. Here it is again.
Let's take a look again. And there were 2 special
If he touched it, no, there we go. All right, so that is not a roughing penalty. It's just running into the kicker. Or do we have an offset here? No, all right, he's walking off the yardage there. All right, just running into.
Okay.
Would you call that running into a roughing? What would you call that?
I'd say I like the call. I like the call.
Okay.
It was he was able to get the kickoff, and anyway, it is what it is, as the kids like to say, Mike. And Cole will do it again.
Is Bill Belichick one of the kids that was a favorite of his? It is what it is. When he just wanted to brush
We got to bring him into this.
All right, so we have another penalty. It looks like a false start there on FDNY. So the snap was late after the false start, and it skipped to Cole. So probably better that they get a chance to reset here. But look, with 10 minutes to go, down 16-0, we did not need to see a punt here from FDNY, but they have no choice because it's way too much yardage to gain here.
Indeed it is. Francis Cole ran a fourth down for a fourth down punt, fake punt earlier this season. It was 4th and 20. Not here.
The punt skipped to him again, and he gets one off, picked up by number 16, Earl Lucas, who runs it for a few yards, gets it up to the 43-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the NYPD when we come back with more Fun City Bowl live on Fox Nation.
ECAD, Educated Canines Assisting with the Disabilities. Our mission is to enable people with disabilities to gain greater independence and mobility through the use of specialty educated dogs. Visit ecad1.org.
Okay, there you go on 1st down. They give it to Woodley, and he bounds into a couple of players, bounces off of them, and he picks up a 1st down. I think you're going to see a heavy dose of this the rest of the way, John.
You know, our director here today, Jamie Burkhart, I think in a very simple way, put it perfectly. He said, guys, during one of our commercial breaks, the PD is sucking the life out of the fire department. It's sort of like the air out of a fire in a building, and I think it's well said. You feel like the PD crowd is, I don't know, the FD crowd maybe quieting down a little bit as well. We'll see.
Yeah, it hasn't been a lot to cheer about for FD. Clearly, the ability for the NYPD finest team to control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball.
Our mission is providing that support, advocacy, and awareness for organ donation. Be a forever hero, organ donation. Be a forever hero, donate life is the message we want to get out there.
As an FDNY firefighter, he was a hero in life. As an organ donor, Billy Moon, also a hero in death.
FDNY firefighter Billy Moon's heart was successfully transplanted into 63-year-old Richard Grell last December.
And as his widow, Christina, processed her heartbreak and her grief, she fulfilled a promise that was made to her husband and donated his organs so others could live. 5 lives were saved in the process.
There are around 103,000 people waiting for a transplant across the country. One person can save 8 lives and improve up to 75 more.
Back live from Mitchell Field here in Long Island, New York. Thank you to everybody that has tuned in to watch this 2025 Fun City Bowl. NYPD finest, FDNY Bravest, 16-0 lead, 8.5 minutes to go. And FDNY trying to put the finishing touches on this one. They have Woodley and Felder bump into each other on the play, but Woodley breaks out and he breaks away. He's going to head to the end zone for a touchdown. NYPD, Woodley with a huge run right there and make it 22-0 NYPD, and Woodley really showing how he's able to just weave through the traffic there. John.
Well, he goes
and get
off
to pay
that right guard, and it's been all Woodley in this second half and really throughout the entire game. The combination of Felder and Woodley, and there goes the boom, the cannon from the Warriors. Marking yet another touchdown. This one coming on the carry from Woodley.
NYPD leaving their offense out here to get a 2-point conversion. Obviously, they had the botched PAT earlier, so they're going to try to make this 24-0. And already a 3-score game, but just trying to extend it here. And you've got Woodley and Felder in the backfield with Quinlan. 2 out to his right, 1 out to his left, and he's going to hand it off to Felder off the left side. Felder across the goal line and in for 2.
And, Felder lowered his shoulder,
yep.
And he went head-to-head with number 50, Jason Carteron, and he won that battle to make it 24-0. And look at the low center of gravity. And it wasn't. This is the touchdown.
Run. So there's Woodley. He broke away from the tackle, number 43 on the FDNY Bravest defense is Alan Prockett. He's unable to come up with it. And then Zerbo.
And Dollison swinging the upper body. Wasn't able to bring him down either. But that 2-point conversion really shows the strength of Felder. Low center of gravity. It kind of reminded me of Bo Jackson and Bosworth back in the day when Bosworth was playing linebacker for Seattle, and Jackson lowered the shoulder and got the better of him. Felder, and Carteron's played a great game today, so I don't want to take anything away from him, but the 2-point conversion is good. And Mike, I hate to say it, but looks like that might be the final nail here in the Fun City Bowl.
I think that is probably going to put it out of reach for FDNY, but I think what's really important about these games is, as much as these two teams don't like each other, John, and we've highlighted that a couple of times, I think they do have great respect for one another.
Oh, absolutely.
And the effort that they give in between the lines.
FDNY grappling amongst each other because of how important this week and this game here tonight is to them. It has not gone their way. And another flag here, Mike.
So the kickoff, like we mentioned, the dynamic kickoff, it's got to reach the landing zone. It does not there, and it'll be FDNY taking over at the 40-yard line. They are in desperation mode. They have to score a touchdown here and pick up some 2-point conversions in order to try to chip away at this lead. You can't go too conservative here in the play calling. It's going to have to be a passing offense here, and it's going to be Peter Calabrese under center doing it.
Well, again, at this stage, Mike, also, I don't think it's too early to tease our post-game award ceremony with the presentation of the Fun City Bowl trophy, a huge trophy. If you've never gotten a look at it, be sure to stick around for our post-game awards presentation, the MVP interview, and the 2025 Fun City Bowl champions.
All right, here we go. 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line. You got Marco Babby in motion. Calabrese looks for Ortega on a screen pass. That one falls incomplete. It was a forward pass, not a true screen there, but not able to connect there. I think Calabrese trying to do so much on that play, trying to avoid pressure as well.
And Calabrese, it's trial by fire. Is that the expression, Mike? A good pump fake there, avoids that one tackle, but off the back foot, despite Ortega being within close proximity. Calabrese unable to connect. I'm not sure that would have been much of a gain as it were, but it will now bring up a
Second and 10. 2nd and 10 from the 40-yard line. We've got Calabrese back there and a false start for FDNY. On your 6 bourbon whiskey, that's inspired by everyday heroes like nurses, police officers, teachers, and firefighters who make this country so loved and respected. We keep the military tradition of grabbing a drink to celebrate someone who's got your 6. Visit onyour6, the number 6.com today to purchase your first bottle.
You know, Mike, just wanted to give a shout out to the future of both of these programs. Number 55, Tyler Nemechek, the offensive lineman for the NYPD, joins Vincenzo Scarola, both 2 weeks out of the academy and dressing for the game tonight.
Great stuff there. Calabrese under pressure, sacked at his 25-yard line. That's going to bring up 3rd and it was already 2nd and 15. That's going to make it 3rd and 25 from their own 25-yard line. They have to get to midfield. It's 4-down territory too, John. So they're going to have to get some positive momentum at least on this 3rd down.
Yeah, Calabrese, you got to feel kind of bad for the kid. Not getting a lot of time and forced to be under the gun, making really quick decisions. But he's hanging in there. The Tottenville kid who's had some setbacks this year physically, but he's stepping up after a tough snap there.
Difficult snap there. Calabrese corrals it, picks it up, and runs with it. He gets out to the 31-yard line, so he picks up 6 on the play. That'll make it 4th and 19 for FDNY, and they are bringing out the punting unit.
You know, Mike, I think there, was an appreciation for the depth of this PD team this year, the realistic notion that it was going to be an uphill climb for the fire department. Vinny Sheeta said to me, the offensive coordinator in their first year as the OC for FD, that, we play PD 10 times, we're going to lose 9, but not today. And it was a good approach, but it's just not enough today for the fire department.
Okay, I think we're gonna stay with the action here. FDNY called a timeout. All right, they called a timeout. We'll take a quick break in the action. Come back right after this.
Hey Frank, how you doing?
Andy Pettitte is one of America's greatest pitchers that has played for the New York Yankees. He has never forgotten what happened on September 11th.
The grief I know that you and your family had to go through, but what you've turned that tragedy into really a triumph.
What we do for catastrophically injured service members, Gold Star families, giving them mortgage-free homes.
The 100-home village that y'all are going to build down in Tampa, it's just amazing.
They go and protect us overseas. They give their lives. We better take care of their families that are left behind.
I just kept seeing those commercials over and over, and it gets to you, right? I mean, if you're an American, I really just felt, in my heart, just like, man, this is something I wanted to find out more about and look into, and then, of course, just be involved. The Bible tells us that when we restore others, that ourselves will be restored.
Join me in supporting our nation's heroes and their families. It only takes $11 a month.
Go to T2T.org.
Here we are with Francis Cole lined up to punt for FDNY on 4th and 20, and he gets off a really big kick here over the head of McGrain, who's tracking it down. That one may get all the way into the end zone, and it does. Gosh, a huge punt from Cole. Was that a 70-yard punt by Cole? Amazing. Anyway, touchback FDN for NYPD. It'll be 1st down. Back with a break after this. Okay, 1st down and 10 from the 20 after Francis Cole punt bounces into the end zone. Booming kick, John. It was a huge kick, and then the bounce took it even further. I think that registered officially as a 70-yard punt by Cole, but NYPD will take over here 1st and 10, and you've got O'Connell in. Quinlan heads to the sidelines, and O'Connell is in for NYPD, and he hands off to Jerry Brown on 1st down. And that'll be 1st down, run goes for 6, 2nd and 4 from their own 26-yard line.
Well, classy move by Clive Harding there to insert O'Connell into the ball game. Davian Quinlan certainly has done his job here today under center for the police department of New York City, and hats off to number 8 on a great performance. You know, didn't have to do a whole lot, but manage the game, Mike. He came up with a couple of big first downs, but when you've got 2 horses in the backfield that Quinlan had at his disposal.
Jerry Brown gets the carry here on second down, good for 3 yards. It'll be 3rd and 2, so obviously they're inserting some players that don't maybe normally get as much time. You know, in the game that I did with NYPD versus Tri-State, Quinlan's knee got a little tweaked, so O'Connell ended up playing quite a bit, threw a touchdown pass in that game. He definitely has ability. He's a little slighter than Quinlan is, and Quinlan is the clear starter. He has an ability to run that O'Connell doesn't have as much of, but you'll see there's good athleticism in O'Connell as well, and certainly has the ability to sling it. I don't know how much he'll have an opportunity to do that with just 5 minutes left in a blowout win. Oof.
Oh, my gosh.
That's Jerry Brown met by Frank Zerbo behind the line of scrimmage. A quick 3 and out for NYPD, and they hung Jerry Brown out to dry on this one.
5'9", 200-pound Zerbo, the linebacker out of Wagner. You know, this guy has got a lot of pride, Mike, and he is not letting off the gas despite the score, despite the time of the game. Zerbo, that's what you talk hitting through a player. That is a textbook tackle, Ronnie Lott style. You're going right through the player, and a beautiful hit by Zerbo.
100%.
Clean.
Jerry Brown bobbled that, too. It would have been a huge opportunity for FDNY if that ball had hit the turf. But, alas, it is 4th down, and they are going to be punting it right back to FDNY to see if they can make something happen. That is Zabransky with a punt, and not a good one. And that is out of bounds. That punt goes for 6 yards. So his worst effort of the day, just mishit it, and it's going to be a quick break here. Come back with more Fun City Bowl action.
Frequently either stop looking for signs of hope and praying for a swift end to our agonizing pain. As one who has walked down this road, I can honestly say that nothing I have ever done has given me more hope, more relief. I renew my courage like my relationship to ECAN, especially the reception of my new best friend, Dozer.
And we're back here at Mitchell Field. FDNY gets the benefit of a bad punt here by NYPD, and it's Calabrese on first down. He spins and throws to Rob Wheeler. Wheeler across the 20-yard line, a first down for the Bravest. They're going to have to play hurry up here with under 4 minutes to go in this Fun City Bowl. It is a first down for the FDNY.
Playing for pride now, Mike, more than anything. It'd be good to at least try to get a couple of points out of this drive.
They're huddling up here, which I'm a little confused about, John. They need to hurry up about as much as a team could possibly need to hurry up. But here's Calabrese with Tremaine Wilson to his left. He's got Wheeler in motion, who lines up now right next to him. And Wheeler again, back the other way. And Calabrese tucks and runs, but he's stopped at the line of scrimmage. You know, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation since 9/11 been helping America's heroes by providing mortgage-free homes to Gold Star and fallen first responder families. We are also committed to eradicating veteran homelessness and helping America to never forget September 11th, 2001. Visit T2T.org for more information or to make your donation today. Okay, 2nd and 11, technically a loss on that play, so Calabrese sacked on that play. And here he is dropping back to pass. He runs a fade route to Wheeler, who catches it for the touchdown. Nice job by Wheeler shielding off the defender and it is a touchdown from Calabrese to Wheeler. They get on the board. It's 24-6, John, but a little bit of a moral victory here for FDNY.
Well, we talked about the pride of Frank Zerbo defensively. We talk about the pride of the FDNY and Wheeler, such a great athlete at the wide receiver position, one-on-one coverage, and what a beautiful job. Perhaps a little bit of a push-off, but not enough to be called. Gorgeous reception by Wheeler, and finally, the fire department breaks through with 2:31 to go.
Brandon Quinn on the coverage there. Somebody called a timeout. I think that's NYPD calling a timeout. We'll be back with more after this.
Ever wonder who helps our everyday heroes when they need support? Enter fundthefirst.com, a unique crowdfunding platform dedicated to first responders, their families, and their friends. Unlike typical sites, we don't take a cut. Every dollar goes directly to those in need. Whether it's for emergency medical bills, family emergencies, or equipment, fundthefirst.com is there. It's our chance to give back to those who risk it all for us. From police officers to firefighters, these heroes deserve our support. Want to make a real impact? Check out fundthefirst.com and show our heroes that we've got their backs. It's time to support those who always support us.
Okay, two-point conversion set up here. Calabrese with Wilson. Calabrese rolls out to his right. He is under pressure. He throws to Waterman, incomplete. No good there for the two-point conversion. So FDNY will have to be kicking off. It'll probably be an onside kick situation, but we'll take a quick break here and come back with the onside kick.
So how many saw Forrest Gump? Well, I'm Gary Sinise. I play Lieutenant Dan.
Hello, I'm Gary Sinise, and while you may recognize me from movies or television, my life's mission has been to honor and support our nation's veterans, servicemen and women, first responders, our most severely wounded heroes, the families of our fallen, and those suffering from the invisible wounds of war.
I appreciate everything that you do for our troops.
Thank you for what you do for these veterans.
What you do for the soldiers, God bless you.
I lost my dad.
I know, and we want to show you that we don't forget your dad.
It's meaningful.
Yeah.
Because I didn't expect any of this, I was just happy to be alive. So when everyone showed their love and support, it's overwhelming.
Please join me to help us help our defenders who keep us safe and our communities strong. Donate today at GarySiniseFoundation.org.
Go down. Okay, we're live here from Fun City Bowl action. We are in an onside kick territory, 24-6. So still tough math here for FDNY to be able to come back here. But with 2:31 to go, they're lining up for the onside kick. The ball rolls off the tee here. Francis Cole, as you and I have stated many times on these broadcasts, best kicker in this league. We'll see if he can make something happen on the onside kick.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him, Mike. He's done so much for this team, widely considered the best kicker in the NPSFL. Certainly.
That is a tough, really hard kick. Does not take the bounce that he wanted. That one goes right out of bounds, and it'll be NYPD ball, 1st and 10. And they are in run the clock mode. They got a 2-minute warning. FDNY has some timeouts. Do they even bother to spend the timeouts at this point?
No, I think it's would just be kind of prolonging the inevitable. Stevie Orr still working the referees out there on the field. Steve Orr, the longtime president, he alongside Vinny Sheeta have meant so much to this FDNY team, along with Cam Peak, I should say. And they will be back next year for sure. And the season will continue
I thought you were going to start a Pope talk there. We got an American Pope. I thought you were trying to interject that into the broadcast.
Right, well, a big Chicago guy.
Hopefully he can help out the Knicks. He's a Villanova guy. The Knicks need a prayer tonight. So here we go on first down. NYPD runs it right up the middle. That's number 38, Eugene Whitehead on the carry. That's good for 5 yards. It'll be second down as we head towards the 2-minute warning. I think they're just going to let it run there, and then we will take a break at the 2-minute warning. John Heffernan's going to be down on the sidelines interviewing the MVP of the game, yet to be announced. A little bit of a surprise for you viewers at home. And we are at the 2-minute warning. We'll hit a break from our sponsors and come back right after that.
So how many saw Forrest Gump? Well, I'm Gary Sinise. I play Lieutenant Dan.
Hello, I'm Gary Sinise, and while you may recognize me from movies or television, my life's mission has been to honor and support our nation's veterans, servicemen and women, first responders, our most severely wounded heroes, the families of our fallen, and those suffering from the invisible wounds of war.
I appreciate everything that you do for our troops.
Thank you for what you do for these veterans.
What you do for the soldiers, God bless you.
I lost my dad.
I know. And we want to show you that we don't forget your dad.
It's meaningful.
Yeah.
Because I didn't expect any of this, I was just happy to be alive. So when everyone showed their love and support, it's overwhelming.
Please join me to help us help our defenders who keep us safe and our communities strong. Donate today at GarySiniseFoundation.org.
Okay, back to live action. O'Connell in shotgun formation. He's going to hand it off to Whitehead, who churns forward for 4 yards. It'll be 3rd and 1. A first down here officially would end it. FDNY not calling any timeouts, but a first down here would do it. Like I said, John will be down on the field to interview our game MVP. It's been a lovely night here. Obviously, NYPD finest have controlled the action, but a really great night for this spring football league. First responders playing against one another, a heated battle, a heated rivalry. NYPD is going to move to 33-19 all time against the FDNY Bravest. And on third down, he gives to Boccia, and he stood up at the line of scrimmage. And they will not get the first down on that one. Sorry, that was number 35 for NYPD. That is Paul Gaines gets his first carry of the evening. And it'll be 4th down for NYPD. We are under a minute to go. A first down here ends the game. But if they get stopped here, FDNY will get one last crack at it. Under 30 seconds to go. I don't know that there's going to be another snap here. That's a delay of game, so they take the penalty here, then they're going to punt it away. So that's what they're going to choose to do. At the Gary Sinise Foundation, we serve our nation by honoring our defenders, veterans, first responders, their families, and those in need. We do this by creating and supporting unique programs designed to entertain, educate, inspire, strengthen, and build communities. Visit GarySiniseFoundation.org to learn more and how you can contribute to our mission. It is 4th down and about 7 now. Let me do one more thing here for you. Taking Vegas. If you're serious about winning some money, stop what you're doing and head to TakingVegas.com. Their free play record this year is 22-12, and right now they're offering 7 free days of their top play service for our NPSFL network audience. Winning is great, but Taking Vegas is legendary. Visit TakingVegas.com to start winning today. NYPD elects to just run the ball right up the middle. They do not pick up the first down. That leaves 16 seconds on the clock, and FDNY with a chance to come back out on offense. We'll head to a break right now before are they going to call it right now? No, all right, sorry. We'll hit a break and come back right after this.
For over 2 decades, Rigging NYC Contractors, Inc. has been the go-to provider of rigging services in New York City. Specializing in construction and industrial rigging, as well as machinery moving, We are dedicated to delivering safe and
All right, they've elected that. Boom means an NYPD victory. You see the handshake line right there. That last handoff ended the game. 24-6 final. NYPD finest, really dominant tonight. I'll tell you, this is the second broadcast I've done watching NYPD. They are the best. This team, this 2025 NYPD team, is the best team that I've seen in this league to date. They will be hosting the championship game in New York against the Chicago PD Enforcers to try to take down a back-to-back NPSFL championship. Like I said, they moved to 33-19 all-time against the FDNY, and after 4 consecutive victories by the FDNY Bravest team over the NYPD for the second year in a row, NYPD comes out on top. A dominant performance from start to finish. Nearly got another shutout, but their 4th victory of the season. They are 4-0 on the year, and each of those victories has been by multiple touchdowns. We'll head to a quick break right now. We'll come back to the sidelines with John Heffernan and our Fun City Bowl MVP.
For over 2 decades, Rigging NYC Contractors, Inc. has been the go-to provider of rigging services in New York City. Specializing in construction and industrial rigging, as well as machinery moving, we are dedicated to delivering safe and timely solutions. Our team consists of licensed master riggers, operating engineers, teamster drivers, steam fitters, and iron workers. No matter the industrial or construction application, we have the lifting solution for you. In addition to rigging services, we offer specialized trucking services to handle equipment and materials. Our fleet of tractor trailers and experienced drivers make us the premier choice for New York trucking, including oversized freight and heavy loads. When it comes to rigging, trust the experts, the licensed master riggers at Rigging NYC Contractors. Contact us today for more information and let us make your next project a resounding success.
Mike, thank you so much. John Heffernan on the field with our MVP of the game. It's number 2 from the NYPD, William Woodley. Final score, 24-6 PD. 2 Fun City Bowl victories in a row, namely due to this guy here in 2025, William Woodley, an all-important touchdown for you. You got going early. The coaching staff told me it was important to establish the run, and between you and Felder, it was a 1-2 punch that the FD had no clue as to how to handle. Tell me a little bit about your performance tonight.
So pretty much we relied heavily on the offensive line. We worked day in and day out, just making sure they got their blocking assignments right. I give all my props to them. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing on the field.
It really was a dominant O-line performance. Tell me what it's like, you being a veteran of this club, to call yourself 2025 Fun City Bowl champion.
It's amazing. We come out here every year. We start in February. We work out hard every single day, and this is the main goal, to be Fun City Bowl champions.
Tell us a little bit about our viewers at home, what you do for the New York City Police Department and how it is to juggle such a tough job both on this gridiron and in the streets of New York.
So I'm a detective in Queens South Narcotics, and pretty much coming here day in, day out. My family loves being here. This is like a getaway from work, and then I also get to have fun.
Any shout-out to any family members?
I just want to shout out to my dad, my mom, my daughter, and all my teammates.
William Woodley, our MVP today, a big touchdown as the 2025 Fun City Bowl champions, the New York City Police Department, move on to the national championship game here in New York, June 21st, against the undefeated Chicago Enforcers. Folks, from the field, I'm going to send it back up to Mike Blewett. Mike, we've got the trophy presentation coming up as well. I'm going to let you go, Will. Great job tonight.
There you go. That's William Woodley, game MVP. He busted out a huge touchdown run. He was a big part of the rushing attack all night. There you can see NYPD celebrating in the middle of the field as they get the Fun City Bowl trophy presented to them. Victors for the second year in a row. Obviously, we appreciate all of you that tuned in to tonight's broadcast. we will be back with another broadcast on June 21st as NYPD try to run it back with back-to-back championships against that Chicago PD Enforcers team. We'll head to a quick break right now and come back to close out our broadcast.
For over 2 decades, Rigging NYC Contractors, Inc. has been the go-to provider of rigging services in New York City. Specializing in construction and industrial rigging, as well as machinery moving, we are dedicated to delivering safe and timely solutions. Our team consists of licensed master riggers, operating engineers, Teamster drivers, steam fitters, and iron workers. No matter the industrial or construction application, we have the lifting solution for you. In addition to rigging services, we offer specialized trucking services to handle equipment and materials. Our fleet of tractor trailers and experienced drivers make us the premier choice for New York trucking, including oversized freight and heavy loads. When it comes to rigging, trust the experts, the licensed master riggers at Rigging NYC Contractors. Contact us today for more information and let us make your next project a resounding success.
There's your final score. NYPD Finest 24, FDNY Bravest 6. The Bravest fall to 2-2 on the season. Eliminated from postseason contention, but NYPD 4-0 during the championship game against those Chicago PD Enforcers. It'll be here in New York, and you will get another T&D Sports production of the NPSFL Championship. So hope you had a lot of fun watching tonight's broadcast. Great crew here from T&D Sports Production, and we look forward to bringing you the NPSFL Championship. John Heffernan, my co-host for these broadcasts, and tonight, thanks you. I thank you, and to everybody that worked on this broadcast, Jamie and Matt and Jeff and Dave and everybody else that was helping us out tonight. Great job by them. Hopefully you have enjoyed watching these broadcasts, and I can't wait to bring you another one. So thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you in a few weeks for the NPSFL Championship. Again, on behalf of John Heffernan, I'm Mike Blewett. We'll see you next time.